The superstar, step back three on the way. Oh, it banks it.
Really? Really?
All right, so I'm here. I understand what the JETS. Yes, I'm being a little dramatic. I couldn't even finish spelling it because I was disgusted with what I saw on the field. There was a lot of players that just didn't want to play the game of football. Was it because of the weather? Was it because they knew that, you know what, Josh Allen, he's pretty good. That we are not this dominant team that we were at one point in time. Yeah. WTF. I'm a little annoyed. I'm a little pissed. But like I said, I saw the Patriots build this dynasty that a lot of you young individuals are not respecting. But what I'm not respecting myself today was the performance that was put out there. There was only a few people. I had to go back and watch the tape. I'm ranting today. I don't normally rant. Ridiculous, man. I have nothing else. This is all you, brother. I'm done.
I don't know what I'm more embarrassed about. I don't know if I'm more embarrassed about the New England Patriots' performance on Saturday night or more embarrassed that you just put a brown bag over your head after a team just won 10 games and went to the playoffs. Cliff, we're
going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it.
I need to make sure you don't walk off a cliff because there's no. Why are you putting a brown bag on your head?
Because
I have no idea you're doing that.
You and
I put a brown bag on my head last season when Cam Newton loses like 3 straight games. You knew your team was going under 500. You had nowhere. You thought you were in purgatory. You had nowhere you were going. Cliff, that's a little dramatic putting a brown bag over your head.
I have one question. How many times did they punt?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
7 straight touchdown drives for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, and their only drive that they didn't score was when they nailed it down. I get it. It was embarrassing. It sucks because I look at it this way too. We had an awesome time at 6 string. You kicked ass, setting everything up, rushing around. And then right out the gate, it's 7-0. And you knew it was going to be a long night. And I had fun with it. And it sucks to lose to the Buffalo Bills. I get it. It sucks. The writing was kind of on the wall the last couple of weeks, Cliff, when we saw it.
Yeah.
It was a sinking ship. The Titanic, you need to get the violinist start playing. Dito, I know you're out there. Get the violinist playing. And we all kind of knew it was a sinking ship. You saw it after the Colts game. Once you lost to the Bills at home, you kind of knew that things were not going to be looking so bright for the New England Patriots. It's just the fact of the matter is that's not the way you wanted to see them play. You completely get embarrassed. The fan base is rattled. I'm rattled. You're super rattled to wear a freaking brown bag paper. Is that why you have this other paper bag over here?
Yeah.
Because did you want me to put this on? Because I ain't putting this on.
I know. That's why I said, let me do it. I didn't cut the holes out, dude. But
there's no reason to be brown bagging it, Cliff. There's absolutely no reason to be doing that. You got to look at the positives. You got to look at the bright side. We have a long show today. This isn't the Boston Power Hour. It's going to be like the Boston Double Hour. We're probably going to go 2 hours today. We have a lot to break down, a lot to digest all around. We have a report card that we got to talk about, too, that I posted it already. Get little spoilers out there that we're going to talk about, break it down. I actually wrote down notes I have, too, as well. Cliff, we have to rant. We got to rant about certain issues that are going on, and we're not brown bagging it. We're going to look at some positives. There are negatives about this team, and we're going to talk about those negatives. We're going to be realistic on this show. We're also talking about some positivities about the upcoming 2022 season and what the Patriots can do going forward.
All right, so
brown bag, and I can't believe that. I had no idea you were doing that. I saw it. I was like, I cannot believe you're doing that.
You know what it was to me? I knew. You've heard me. I told you I was very nervous about this whole team. I remember when we were at the Brooks, and I remember they're like, don't worry, Josh Allen's going to mess up. I'm like, I don't understand the disrespect for this man. It's fair to say he's an elite quarterback. It's okay to say that. But you know what I saw? And I don't want to just get off topic, but I saw a lot of older players that might not be here next year.
Absolutely. I mean, you're in a transition year, Cliff. I mean, if Bill Belichick post Tom Brady, and we're going into 2020, says to Robert Kraft, hey, we have a 5-year plan, right?
Yep.
And here's the 5-year plan, and this is how we're going to do it. So, year 1, 2020, cap space issues. We just got to get through what we got to get through for the year. Transition, Cam Newton. Year 2, they end up drafting somebody. All right, rookie season. They still have veterans on the team that, hey, they're on their last legs. We're going to, need some veteran presence. It worked for a little bit. And at the end of the day, we're going to have some players move on. But you're getting a lot of these young guys with experience. Year 3 now, I would say next year, 2022 is the year 3 of the transition. Belichick and company have some things they got to do in the offseason. And I trust the New England Patriots to continue to be successful. Again, the bars have been set. Once Brady left, you wipe away this. It's a clean slate, right? It's a new organization post Brady, right?
Yep.
With some people hanging around. You go 7-9. That was your bar year 1. You go 10-7 the next year's an added game. 10-7. And I heard this too. Belichick's and company spent a lot of money, $200 million guaranteed money in the offseason to go 3-2. Pretty much. You added 3 wins, you added 2 losses, or you took 2 losses away. So they went 7-9. You go 10-7. Your bar is set for next year. Your bar is set, and we're going to get into it later, especially when it comes to Mac Jones, that the New England Patriots fan base and the media, and myself, we're homerish time to time. We set the bar and expectations way too high. We were talking Super Bowl this year, 7-game win streak. We got sucked right into that, and that's not a bad thing. It's a positive because it was awesome to see this fan base during that 2-month stretch really believe in this team, really believe in the organization again. That's a huge win. But when you look at the first half of the season when they went 1-3, you look at the second half of the season they went 1-4 down the stretch, counting the playoff game. There's a lot of work to be done. There's some positivities. There's a lot of negatives as well too. But the Patriots can build off of that. 10 wins is now your bar, 7 losses, and a playoff spot. That's where the bar is set. Anything below that next year is a complete failure. And Cliff, I think that should bring us into my first rant because I have 2 of them today.
Yep.
You see that tongue right there? That's the Spike King tongue. My first rant is this. Why are you putting Bill Belichick on the hot seat right now? Why are you in Pats Nation saying Bill Belichick should be fired from a GM spot, from a coaching spot? I understand the frustrations when it comes to the defense, especially with Steve Belichick. I get that. I understand it. But Bill Belichick is currently taking this organization and turning it around. Trust the process. Seriously. You went 7-9 the first year, 10-7 the next year, spent a fuck ton of money in last offseason. He drafted pretty well in 2021. You got to give him some credit there. Is he on the hot seat? No, but the pressure is on from the fan base, from the media, from the organization. He's got to have another great free agency in March, and he's got to have another killer draft in April. And I would like to see this full offseason and how it will transition towards the OTAs, towards the preseason, training camp preseason, and towards next season. So Bill Belichick ain't no hot seat. Bill Belichick's not getting fired. You're absolutely stupid to think that way. I'm always playing devil's advocate. I can always change this around. Mm-hmm. If the Patriots do finish with 9 wins next year, they go 9-8, and they miss the playoffs, then we can have that conversation. I will go back. I'm not a hypocrite because I have said in the past, I said this go into last offseason. I said this, and it's out there. It's still on my Instagram. Dig it out. I said, if Bill Belichick brings back Cam Newton and they had the same exact season, like 7-9 type of season, then he deserves to be fired. Then he deserves to be fired. And it didn't happen. So if you have this 10-win season, 10-7, that's where you should be next year. You should not be below what you have right now.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Before we go on.
For those people that are saying that he should be fired, that's craziness. For those people that say that he should be on a hot seat, let's just say they should keep an eye out for what's going on, right? But should we be concerned that the NFL has left the Belichick era, meaning the fear is gone, but more importantly, his coaching style? I don't know who's coaching defense, but what I saw on defense,
You make me mad.
I have to ask these questions.
No, it just makes me mad because, Cliff, if you get rid of Belichick, who are you replacing him with?
Not saying to get rid of Belichick, but maybe reduce.
He's not going to want that. He's not going to want that. We just talked about Brian Flores last week. And Brian Flores walked in, put his dick on the table and said, I want to do more here. I deserve to do more. Mm-hmm. And they said, nah, go screw. Mm-hmm. Belichick is not going to take any sort of reduced role. He put himself in the spot. He worked into the spot. And yes, he's in this spot. It's in its weird spot right now. It's post-Brady. And he's got to get this organization back to where it needs to be. Mm-hmm. Speed bump last year. 10-7 this year.
Yep.
A lot of question marks. Build off of it. Mm-hmm. That's it. Build off of it. No reduced role, no nothing. I will talk about the Belichick leaving situation in a couple years when he passes Don Shula's all-time win record. Once he has that secured, can he get to another Super Bowl? Does he? He has a short window. I'll give him 5 years, and that's counting like going into next year.
That's a big window.
It is a big window because it's okay. The Mac Jones window of his rookie year. You have him this first year, right? Year one's done. You got him for 5 years. You got him for 4 more years. Mm-hmm. Can he develop in those 4 years? Can he be something in those 4 years? In the next 4 years, and I know he could get an extension, but in the next 4 years, Mac Jones needs to be in an AFC title game. You got to take some time. Someone made a great point in Bills Mafia. They were all attacking me this week. Someone made a great point. You know, Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills organization, it took them a while to get and build what they have right now. Right. It didn't just magically happen. Right. They went to the playoffs a couple years ago.
Right.
And they went with like a Tyrod Taylor. Mm-hmm. And I think they played the Houston Texans, and it was a gross game. Then you get a guy like Josh Allen. You draft a guy like Josh Allen. Then you start getting him into the mix, and it takes a couple years. Josh Allen wasn't just born overnight to his greatness. You're already calling him elite. And I give a ton of credit there. He's proven it. And they have a legitimate, if they go into Kansas City and beat Kansas City, he has a legitimate say. They might go to the Super Bowl. So it didn't just happen. It grew over time. And right now, that's what Belichick is working on. He's got to work on getting some of the old out of here, bringing the new in.
Yep.
Hopefully, when free agent comes, some other teams or players, or per se, are watching and saying, hey, they're getting something there. Maybe I'll jump on. You got to give it some time, dude. You got to let it breathe. Let Belichick breathe. Trust his process. Trust his 5-year plan.
The beautiful thing is I've already gone through this process, so I understand it. So before I bring you to Act 2 of your rant, before we go Act 2, the one thing we all got to hope is that Mac Jones is his true selection. Because you know this conversations, everyone's saying, you really didn't choose him, or he didn't, whatever. And if we are going to say, hey, let's ride out the rookie contract, is basically what we're saying. Hopefully, if that is his pick, it does work out.
I feel like he has it's so Belichick to have a cop-out excuse on both sides. He's going to take credit when Mac Jones is successful. And then if Mac Jones isn't successful, because, guys, guess what? Sometimes first-round draft picks don't pan out.
They got a lot of them.
Quarterbacks don't pan out. They just don't.
Yep.
So if he's not successful, Belichick has the ultimate excuse. We picked the best player at 15th overall. Yeah. They didn't have to trade up for Mac Jones. They didn't chase after Mac Jones. Mac Jones bombed his pro day, and some people are calling it a conspiracy that he did it on purpose to fall to the Patriots. And if you look back into the draft, they were looking at offensive tackle. And I will dive to the grave to say the team they had this year was built for Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Just based on the acquisitions in March. Because Mac Jones was not on the radar at that time. Maybe he was in terms of, hey, if he falls to us, he's there.
Right.
This team was more so built as a power running, where we're going to run down your throat type of offense. And I do feel deep down in my heart, and this is a true thing that I'm thinking of. Put that tinfoil hat on, right? Conspiracy theory.
Let's go.
I really think that Belichick wanted to play Cam Newton this year. Just this year. Just ride it out. It was a transition year. Get some of these old guys out of here. Keep them happy. Cam Newton's there. He feels that with the offense they had set, that it would work with Cam Newton, and let Mac Jones develop off to the side and let him sit for the year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, starting Mac Jones is the wrong thing. He gets his exposure, he gets his reps in, he goes and takes his lumps, and he took a lot of them this year, and he gets 10 wins, he builds some confidence and got to play at least a playoff game and understand, hey, the kid, this is the NFL, and that's what an elite team looks like, and we need to get there. I like that. But I also look at it that Mac Jones is Robert Kraft's pick. Robert Kraft is in that room, and Mac Jones is sitting there at 15, and and he was in that room. You can watch that video.
Oh, yeah.
He's pointing down and says, listen, I sign your checks.
Yeah.
I sign your checks, Bill.
You go get him.
Take Mac Jones, all right? You take Mac Jones. And then when it came down to the preseason, right, in training camp, Kraft probably went up to Bill and said, we need Cam out of here. We need to run with Mac Jones. Because as a business owner, Robert Kraft, he has some trust in Bill, but they're butting heads. They're not always going to agree with each other. And at the end of the day, it's Robert Kraft's team. We always make fun of Jerry Jones in Dallas for his decisions and his influence. And Robert Kraft and these billionaires, they're always with each other, and I'm sure that they're poking fun at each other and whatnot, and whatever happens.
Yep.
And I'm sure that there's some pressure on Robert Kraft to say, hey, you got to get your organization back up and running. Cam Newton's not going to cut it. You see what he did last year? And it might have scared Kraft. And I'm sure that Bill at some points says, let me run my team. Let me do my thing. And I think that the Mac Jones had some influence towards of how he started this year. Mac Jones was good for the rookie season. He was absolutely good for what it is for stat-wise. But to have the 10 wins and the way they won the games, they could have did it with Cam Newton. I really feel that Bill could have had it his way. I think Bill really wanted it his way, and it was just a wrench kind of thrown in at the end.
Yeah.
There's more to it, and we've seen it with all these books that come out about Brady and Belichick and Kraft. There's stuff that goes on behind the scenes that's never going to be released in the now, but it's good to just have some thinking about it. There's obviously something going on right there.
I'm excited about the offseason. A lot of things coming up.
Now we just kind of putting it all full circle, right? I said the team was built for Cam Newton, and I still believe in that. They can now build the team around Mac Jones this offseason. You know what he has.
Yep.
You know what he needs. He needs a true wide receiver one. We can all agree on that, 100%. Right? So you know that he already built a rapport with Hunter Henry. We need to get Jonnu Smith caught up here.
You got a good running game.
Need
a new tackle.
Got to fix that offensive line a little bit. I understand it. But now you can really go out there and handpick what can we get Mac? What can we do to improve his game? And they can do that. Now his bar set, 22 touchdowns. Mac Jones should have 34 touchdowns next year.
Real quick, what do you think if they focus on defense? It wouldn't shock me.
Well, they have to. I mean, you have to put, are you going to franchise tag J.C. Jackson?
It's happening.
You have to get your linebackers a little bit faster.
Yep.
I look at, and we're going to talk about some of these players later on, but a guy like Jalen Mills was not supposed to be a cornerback. He was supposed to be a free safety. He was supposed to be Patrick Chung's role. So, and he had to take over. We'll get into that later. But you got to focus on defense, but I would try to shine on the offense more. I would want to shine on that offense a little bit more. And I'm going to actually talk about that later when we talk about Mac Jones. I don't want to blow my load right now early on.
We'll get on Coach Belichick's ear. Let's go. Act 2, Babs Weekly Rant.
Act 2. You know what I got to do?
I can help you. You want me?
Can you help me?
Yeah.
So
the Bills, what's up with the Bills, right? They own us? There you go.
Okay. I've been ranting for the last 8 hours today getting ready for the show, and I have so much on my mind, so much to say, and sometimes a 1 hour show or a 2 hour show isn't even enough. New England Patriots fan base, listen up. The Buffalo Bills own us as Patriots fans, as the organization. The Buffalo Bills, they're 4-1 in the last 5 games. They've won back-to-back AFC East championships, and they destroyed the New England Patriots in the playoffs. We have no legs to stand on right now as fans. We don't have Tom Brady to fall back on anymore. I had people reaching out to me saying, well, Babs, in the last 10 games, it doesn't matter. That had Brady in it. In the post-Tom Brady era, the Buffalo Bills own the New England Patriots. Simple put. Does that mean it's going to stay like that forever? Absolutely not. It means that, hey, the Patriots are dogs. We're going to be underdogs going forward against the Buffalo Bills. And winning those games at home and on the road next season are going to be that much sweeter. We felt amazing when they ran down their throats in Buffalo on Monday Night Football, and you got that when you snuck out there with the victory. You snuck out there with the victory because of bad weather. It could be 5-0 against you. So in terms of football and being a fan as well, it's great to see a division rival like this. We've been waiting for 20 years. Yeah, there's been a couple bumps in the road like the New York Jets in 2009 and 2010, right? Sometimes the Dolphins creep up and they get their wins and they have their Super Bowl wins against you each year. But the Buffalo Bills are legit. And I'm probably one of the only fans that will actually admit that and say the Buffalo Bills are a legitimate fan base. No one's holding a gun to my head and saying it. It ain't happening. But it just give credit where credit is due. And they absolutely waxed that ass on Wildcard weekend. They own you.
Let me talk to you real quick. You remember how I said, hey, I'll be back. I'm going to just go get my beverage because I forgot I ordered something. I think it was like a Guinness or something like that. And all I hear is, no! I said, already?
It was quick.
Wow.
It was quick.
Wow.
It was...
I didn't know. I can say this, and I spoke to you offline. I didn't feel good about this game. I just didn't.
You never feel good about any game.
No, this game.
You don't feel good about anything.
But I was just
the Jacksonville Jaguars, sure.
But I was like, this was humiliating.
It
honestly.
was. No, it was. And I was saying when it was 47 points, when it was 47 for Bills, I look over at Jonathan and I was like, the Bills should just put 50 up. If you have that, if you're in that position, but if you're in the Buffalo Bills position, you're in position to just annihilate a team. Just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And the Patriots, again, play 60. They kept fighting. They tried. Like I give Mac Jones that type of credit. The team kept trying and trying and trying anything. I know some people are a little mad about the play calls. Like McDaniels, why are you running it when you're like down 14 points or 17 points or whatever it is? But when I talked about the 3 keys to the game, what was the third key, Cliff, that I talked about? Do you remember?
Oh, what? No turnovers? No, that was one.
This.
The running?
Contain Josh Allen's legs.
The running, the legs.
I said contain Josh Allen's legs. I repeated that over and over. 144 rush yards in the last 2 games heading into that game. You got to contain him. You got to make sure he doesn't extend drives. What did he do on the first drive? He had 41 rush yards.
Yeah.
He had one play for like 30 yards.
Yeah.
He had 6 rushes total in the entire game, and he had 66 rush yards, which averaged to about 11 yards per rush, which is 6 first downs right there. And I believe 2 of those rushes, or one of those rushes, was a kneel down at the end. So you couldn't contain Josh Allen right off the bat, and it's 7-0. I'm not even joking, Cliff. When it was 7-0, I knew the game was over.
Yeah.
Because I had no trust in Mac Jones to come back in this game. Even down 7-0.
Yeah.
No trust in Mac Jones to come back in that game. I had no trust in the defense because even if Mac Jones can go down there, get a field goal, or get a touchdown.
What's the defense going to do?
What's the defense going to do?
Yeah.
What is the defense going to do? You can't trust it. You knew it was over.
Especially that sequence, and to hear it today, the soundbite, when he said, we always talked about the quarterback having at least 3 seconds or 4. There was one play, 10 seconds, he said, he was throwing the ball away, but his guy came down with it. Holy shit. That was scary. Like, come on.
I also look at this. Yes, Jalen Mills was out. Sean Wade's out. Like, one player is not going to make a huge difference.
Nope.
What's the difference? 47-40? Like, it's a whole team needs to be blamed all across the board, and 100%. That's the defensive side.
Yep.
I give no blame to the offense. Like, they tried their best. Like, I think Mac Jones' throw wasn't that great towards Aguilar.
Yep.
Like, it needed to have a little extra oomph into it. It was a great play by Hyde to get that interception.
We talked about Aguilar could have. Guys are on
No, I don't want this whole, well, he could have, twisted his body and gone after it. If you rewatch it, they had an angle today. Aguilar was there. All it needed to go was a little bit further.
Agreed.
That should have been Mac Jones. Like, I get so frustrated about this whole, well, Mac Jones is a rookie. You motherfuckers out there, ready? Well, this is the third rant now,
Let's
right?
go.
Third
Act
rant.
3.
Act 3.
Okay.
You people out there who watch Alabama football, who got so hyped up about Mac Jones, and especially the media, you came out and said, here's Mac Jones on. You put him on the silver platter. You said, wow, the New England Patriots have this guy who's already built for the NFL. He came from Alabama and won a national title. You put his expectations through the roof. You did that with Mac Jones. Mac Jones, how many big games did he play down in Alabama? He comes off a national title game. You put the expectations super high for Mac Jones. But every time he makes a mistake, well, he's a rookie. Well, he's a rookie. Well, that's such an excuse. Stop saying you can only use that excuse so many times, Cliff.
Let him know.
Like, it's unbelievable how you want to set the tone for Mac Jones, and I get it. You want to hype up your guy, but get some accountability when Mac Jones makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Just give him some accountability. And I said this. It's a team sport. It's a team sport.
There you
but
go.
the quarterback holds the most accountability, especially when it comes to the offense.
For sure.
He needs to be the leader. And for the entire team itself, all right? He comes from an already built collegiate program of Alabama. He should know a little bit better.
Yeah. I'm going to meet you halfway on that pass. Just a breadbasket, lazy man pass. If you watch any football this weekend, all these receivers went out and grabbed the ball. It was an amazing play defensively. That's why I don't want to take credit from the defense saying, hey, Aguilar, come on. Could have gone up. But
I say to you, take accountability for Mac Jones. Better throw. That's it. Should have been a better throw. Simple put. That's it. You can't always rely on these players to go out there and do this and that. Just we've seen it. I know. It sucks for Mac Jones a lot because there's so many comparisons to Tom Brady, and we really do need to stop that. You need to stop the Tom Brady. I said it's going to follow him for the rest of his career.
It is
here in New England, and it's hard because you need to make comparisons. You do. Like right now, we're making a comparison for next year. Well, if Mac Jones throws 22, he's going to have to do better than that.
Well, talking about his numbers, let's talk about it.
Yeah, 3,800 yards. This is obviously for regular season stats. 13 interceptions.
Tied for 19th in the league.
19th for the league, so below average. But, I have all these people that are saying, he's a rookie. He's a rookie. Look at the rookie numbers. He played an extra game, but one of those games didn't even count because it's the Buffalo Bills game.
Yeah, he didn't throw.
He didn't throw anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to get, I am saving my Mac Jones rant for later on because when we get into player grades, and if you've already seen it, you already know the grade I gave him. And he got a C+ this year. And we're going to get into that later on, and I'm going to explain why he has a C+. I have my ammo ready to go about it.
I got you.
But I will say this right now. You look at those stats, they're not terrible stats for a rookie. And I completely agree.
So let's remember those stats. And let's
remember
compare
those stats.
And let's
remember
look at this guy
Boom,
right here.
Burn it into your head. Josh Allen, that's a baller right there, right? 4,400 yards, 36 touchdowns. Yeah, he's 15 picks right there. He can also, what's his rush yards? Do you have his rush yards down there? I can't see the bottom pack. Oh. All right. But he makes plays with his legs as well, too. Has he had bad games? Yeah. Have they struggled, the Buffalo Bills? Yeah. But when they turn it on, they turn it on. When they want to show up, they show up. Maybe they overlooked Jacksonville, and that's why they lose. Maybe they overlooked Miami and played sloppy against them. But you also got to think, too, they played, they had a chance to beat Tennessee, and their heads weren't in it. So I look at the Buffalo Bills. They have a big prove-it game coming up against Kansas City. We'll talk about that later. But Josh Allen, he's on something. Respect.
We got our guy Bourne.
Kendrick Bourne came in here and he balled in terms, and not even just his 800 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns. And it's spread out. And he had a game, was the Tennessee game, where he had 2 touchdowns. He threw a touchdown this year against the Jets. He's able to run the ball. He had, I think, close to 1,000 yards all-purpose. I believe he had 125 rush yards. He came in here, his 3-year deal, $15 million, and he has already exceeded expectations. Kendrick Bourne is your true wide receiver 1 right now.
Yeah, he is.
But he shouldn't be your wide receiver 1. He's a
2.
very good complementary receiver if you have a true wide receiver 1.
Right.
They have something with Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah.
So again, the transition year for Bill Belichick, You get all these pieces in here, see what works and what doesn't work.
Yep.
Aguilar, you just had your beef with him, right?
Yep.
Maybe cut him. If they have someone said if they cut him, I think
What's the dead money?
They save 75%.
Oh,
They only owe him 25% of his contract. So
Really?
you can already cut ties and get a lot of your money back.
Yeah.
And I don't have the numbers in front of me. That's just what I saw from TJ earlier today. But you already know which now you have in Kendrick Bourne.
Yep.
And he wants to play.
Yes, he does.
posted about it today. He
Yeah.
just posted about it right before he went on and was just saying, I'm blessed to have this opportunity, and he knows that he has to continue working harder going forward.
I like the kid. I like that he's just he's agile, he's quick. We haven't had a type of dynamic player like him. It's different. He has this quirkiness about him. This right here hurts me, right? He didn't have a bad game, but I could just tell it just wasn't typical McCourty.
And this is what we talked about, some of these older guys, and there's no disrespect to Devin McCourty at all, but you know that the writing is now on the wall.
For sure.
And it was nice to see him get some shine this year in certain key moments and have some of his high moments. But you know that it's going to be it for McCourty, and it might be time to hang it up. And do you think that Devin McCourty, I ask you this, Cliff.
Yep.
You said that the Patriots were lacking some veteran leadership and vocal leadership. Do you think McCourty kind of slacked this year?
I can't say because we don't really get that inside footage, unfortunately, like other cities. I just felt like just the interviews, he was just very quiet, lackadaisical, like wasn't really in your face, wasn't angry. Not that he was ever like the angry guy, but it'd be nice for him to say, hey, we got to do better. We got to do this. We got to do that. I don't know that we have anyone on this team that we can say is truly a leader. Yeah, in the beginning, we can all say Judon's going to be that guy, but he's really kind of like a cool, relaxed, like let me chill guy, and lets his work does the speaking for him. It would have just been nice to see McCourty kind of just get in people's faces a little bit or take accountability for the defense.
Brain's going right now.
Go
I have
ahead.
a hot take, very hot take.
Go ahead. I'm waiting.
Devin McCourty has been checked out for the last 2 seasons. Because
True.
if you go back to the start of 2020, and if you know the McCourtys and what they do for charity work and understand the sickle cell, right? They raise a lot of awareness. And when the opt-outs were happening last year, we seen Hightower do it, right? He wanted to do it for his family, right? Marcus Cannon, because Marcus Cannon had health issues. Devin McCourty, I have a feeling, wanted to opt out. And Devin McCourty, if you go back, was very vocal about player safety during COVID, and he seemed very mad that he was even playing last year. And I think that he did that out of the kindness, out of his own heart to Robert Kraft and maybe Bill Belichick, because they needed a veteran. They needed somebody there. They needed to keep the team together, whether that's a backdoor handshake agreement because he's going to be a Patriots Hall of Famer.
Yes, he is.
Maybe they look out for him in the future and just say, can you please put your time in for us? So I feel that last year and kind of mentally, he's checked out. And I look at him this year, and I just asked you the question, do you think he was a true vet in terms of a vocal leader in that locker room? And I'm sure he is. I don't want to speak for them. But he didn't seem like the same Devin McCourty we've seen.
Definitely different.
Like, he's a Tom Brady guy. He is a Tom Brady era type of guy.
Yeah.
And it's just the last 2 years just did not seem the same Devin McCourty that we knew for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So I just feel that something about him playing last year ticked him off. He's a guy that will shut his mouth. He will do his job. He'll show up to work. He won't complain about it. He'll do his time, and then this is it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's going on with Devin.
Well,
he had his fun with his brother being there.
that was great.
They cut ties with his brother, and then it's just he's back to being solo, and it's kind of like
They won a
who do I have-
championship.
Who do
Who's
I have,
around?
Who do I have left for me?
Yeah, Slater.
Why do I
you
even
don't-
want to be here?
You're on the sideline. You only play special teams. You're
Yeah.
not out here. Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a different team, a different feel. I know that there was always this conversation of they're getting along. It's a better group. I bet it was in comparison to what it was last year, but I just didn't get to see the like there was always an energy, right? We even within the defense, you didn't have to score, but you could see the energy, and it was like fake when they would like do something big. It's like, yeah, all right, and like there's a lot of new bodies here. There's a lot of new bodies.
I mean, the energy was there. I think that their backs against the wall, and it was the Houston game, and just that comeback against Houston sparked a little something for the team. Then you lose to Dallas in overtime, and you knew that you were there. And then you knew you had the Jets the following week, and then you just start exploding, right? And then you had this run of teams that weren't good, and we bought into it, and I think the team chemistry bought into it. But that bye week, does it get into your, like we talked about, did it get into your head?
Yeah.
And they controlled the AFC at the time. They thought they were better than what they are, and that's fine. The confidence is there, and they lost it all at the Colts game.
Yep.
They lost it on that Saturday night. It was it. When you're down 20-0.
Yeah.
And you have to crawl back. I mean, they're and now you're a guy like a McCourty, or you could be a guy like a Hightower, or you can be one of these veteran guys that just says, this is it.
Yeah.
We know we're not good enough. If we can't beat the Colts, we're not going to be good enough down the line. Oh, damn, it's getting a little colder out. It's Christmas time's coming up. You start checking out a little bit, and the team just lost its chemistry a bit.
You know what? Do you think this extra game had anything to do? Not obviously the collapse that we saw this past weekend, but do you think that the extra game, because that's not actually really discussed much.
I'd rather not have the extra game because they would have went 10-6. It would have been a better record.
I hate the extra game. I hate it. I know it's extra football, yay. Yeah. But you know what? These guys, regardless of regardless of the money, because I hate hearing things, they get paid.
So I wouldn't mind if they won't move up the season. It's perfect where it is because of Labor Day weekend. They're not going to move it up. But they need a second bye week mixed in there somehow.
Something. You
need a second bye week mixed in. And they're already pushing the Super Bowl back now to February 14th, right? February 13th this year. That's it's Valentine's Day weekend.
Yep.
And I thought that's an interesting move too, because that's usually when like the NBA All-Star game is. And that's usually like when the NHL All-Star game is in February. And maybe as a business standpoint, hey, Super Bowl weekend will just own that. And they're all competing against, I wouldn't mind seeing football get pushed back one extra week.
Yeah.
And that one extra week, so I'm talking now Super Bowl is in late February. Like I'm talking about the 21st, like that type of weekend. But you're adding an extra bye week in there. And it's not that bad because adding an extra bye week, less games, but there's more fans watching the national televised games. There's more that you're watching the product. There's plenty of times I've posted the map, right? The TV coverage map. Hey, this week, this is where the Patriots are, and this is what you're going to get. So if the Patriots have another bye week, you're going to be watching another team that week. Right. You're going to be invested into that product. You're giving them ratings. It's going to actually help your knowledge of the game a little bit more of what's going on around you. So, but it gives the players some extra rest when it's needed.
The rest, and it helps the product. The product, ladies and gentlemen. And again, obviously we're all fans. I guess I lean a little more to the players because I understand how grueling it is. But if you care about the players, the product can remain elite.
They should move up training camp a week. Like they should have because training camp lost a preseason game. Yeah. So I don't mind the 3 preseason games. I know Bill Belichick is somebody that likes to assess every single player, and he kind of loses that. But I think that you should move up training camp a little bit. And as a football fan, if you push back the Super Bowl now to, like, say, February 21st, the very next week, the very last day usually of February, is the NFL Combine.
Right.
So now all of a sudden, you're going from Super Bowl week to the NFL Combine.
Yeah.
From the Combine, you're going right into March of free agency.
Right.
From free agency, which trickles because it takes a while, and the NFL likes to play things out. There's going to be a lot of quarterbacks moving around. Yep. Well, we're not going to make this announcement this day. They love to drag it out. All of a sudden, it's April, and the NFL draft is here.
Yeah.
Then the draft happens, and that's the end of April. Now, all of a sudden, it's May, and then it's in April, May, then these players are starting to sign, and then OTAs is coming up. So the NFL really is starting to, it could expand.
Yeah.
And we're talking about this league almost every other week. And they want that. They rule it. It's more money in their pockets.
Especially that they're setting up for London.
And we're all talking. And we're all talking by just adding one bye week.
Yeah.
One bye week stretches the league out even more. So it's deserved for player safety reasons.
Yeah. We didn't put this on the itinerary, but what do you think? I was always against coaches going for jobs during the season. It should be Super Bowls done. Now you can start getting your coaches.
So I'm against it, like, in terms of Josh McDaniels. Let's just use him as an example.
Yeah, exactly.
Just an example.
Yep.
Like, he shouldn't be going for coaching jobs until the season's done. Now that his season's done, go for coaching jobs. I don't mind these coaching jobs opening up and someone taking them because you need to get someone in there right away. I think Bill has said this before. They're so used to playing in February. They're so used to playing the Super Bowl. That's one whole month that you're losing.
You're losing.
Like, a lot of these teams, Detroit Lions right now, let's say, Dan Campbell's now using that extra month of January to, get ready for next season, start prepping.
Is it going to help?
Yes and no. It all depends on what kind of GM and head
Is
coach
it going to
and
help
stuff
them?
like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it all depends. But, I mean, like, I'm actually surprised Flores hasn't accepted a job yet. Mm-hmm. Maybe the Raiders' job might open up now because they just fired their GM.
Yep.
Maybe Brian Flores gets brought in as head coach and GM. Then he wants that Belichick type of role.
Yeah.
Maybe they believe in that. So, it's just we'll see. I mean,
it always bothered me, and you know what it was? I remember when the Patriots played Green Bay. I was a bus boy. I was working, and it was my last time I ever placed any type of money on the Patriots, and I felt like Parcells was gone. He didn't even come to the Super Bowl game. I was like, this fucking guy. And I just I just don't like it.
He was already on his way out.
I'm like, dude, no. Like, everybody focus on the game regardless.
So the story that I've heard was, because I got in a little snafu about the royal blue throwbacks and saying they were going to wear them a couple years ago and they didn't. I've heard that a lot of people want to see those on the field again.
Okay.
But those jerseys represent the Parcells era, which Kraft hates.
Okay.
Because of the sour taste. He was slapped in the face when Parcells left, and Robert Kraft never wants to see those jerseys ever on the field as long as he's alive. The red jerseys are a different story because that's a team that Robert Kraft grew up with. He was a fan.
Right.
So that's what he likes to see. So you'll never see those royal blues back. You won't see him until Kraft's long gone.
So you're saying that Kraft is crying you a river just like this guy here.
Dude. All right, so I just saw the videos that came out, and they're trying to spin it, and Mac Jones, Hoyer had a talk with him, and Hoyer talked to him and said, and it just, congratulated him, hey, it's the long season kid, blah, 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 whatever they said to each other, and then he went one by one to all the players and, like, kind of dapped them up and everything. That's pain. That's pain on the face, though. Look at that face. And we talked about this week in and week out is about, your emotions. You're showing it. You're really showing it. And this is an image right here that you're watching, that you're seeing at home, that if Mac Jones has another bad kind of season and they just fizzle out again and losing a wild card, like, these pictures are going to start piling up on
Oh, my
him.
goodness, are they?
Like, he just, Babs, you don't know what it's like to get into the NFL and lose these big games and this and that. It's called professional football. You got to be more of a professional. I have no problem with you feeding into emotions, but when there's 1,000 cameras on you, you got to be careful, because then Babs is going to take these pictures and spin them, make it look like a negative. But I mean, it's just your emotions sometimes get the best of you.
Yeah.
That's what the saying goes. So I feel like
he's got to figure this part out.
He puts too much on himself. He's got to stay a little bit loose, man. The league believes in you. The team believes in you.
Come on, Mac. Come on.
Mark Daniels says from the Providence Journal, for me, obviously, this is Mac Jones talking postgame. For me, obviously, I was a rookie and played like that sometimes, and I shouldn't have. I could have played better. That's my goal this offseason, just to advance and bring the guys along with me. Look at this. For me, obviously, I was a rookie and played like that sometimes, and I shouldn't have. Let me repeat that. For me, obviously, I was a rookie. I was a rookie. I hate this rookie word. I've been saying it over and over again. Why are we using the word rookie nonstop? Rookie, rookie, rookie. When you came out and said, here's Mac Jones on the silver platter. He's NFL ready because he came from Alabama and he won a national title. Well, I was a rookie. Well, I was a rookie and I played like that. Like, why don't you just say this? For me, obviously, I didn't play well this season. I didn't play well and I should have played better. Why does the word rookie need to be put in there? Why does that keyword rookie need to keep being said over and over again? It's an excuse. It's just an excuse. It's like a cop-out excuse. Well, I was a rookie and I was a rookie and played like that sometimes and I shouldn't have. Well, we know that because everyone put you on the silver platter like that. We understand it. Why are we using this? And it's not just Mac Jones, it's you, the fan base. Stop using it so many times. What are you going to say next year when he makes a mistake? Well, Cliff, he's a sophomore. He's a sophomore. He's just in his second year.
Sophomore jinx.
What are you going to say?
It's a sophomore jinx. What are you talking about?
Yeah. The sophomore slump. Well, he's in a sophomore slump. Well, what are you going to say in year 3? Well, he's a junior. He's almost in his senior year. He's almost there into year 4. It's like just stop using excuses. Just hold some accountability. Like, that's it. Like,
yeah, I agree with that.
It's not you being a bad fan doing that. You want to see the best out of Mac. You want to see the best out of this team, but you want to hold some accountability because you're just going to end up becoming a Dallas Cowboys type of fan with all your excuses and living in the past. You just got to kind of point out some of the flaws and say, hey, I want to be honest for a second. I think that Mac Jones needs to fix his posture and the way he is not that poised in his post-game press conferences. I just don't look like the look's not there.
Yeah.
And other people are seeing that.
Yeah, for sure.
And if other people are seeing it and just not me, it means something.
It sure does. But you know what? Let me sprinkle some little dust in the air. Look at this beautiful report card, sir.
Okay. Oh, we're going right to our report card.
We got a nice. I had to. I was getting sad.
I got my notes set, just like small notes, because I need to make sure I have some stats out here and some like little highlights.
Of course.
All right. So this report card segment, right, is brought to you by Boston Power Hour. This is where we're going to get our sponsors in the future. So this report card segment, I posted on Twitter. I posted on Instagram. I said, give me a report card for players. We're going to go down A+ through F. This is pretty much a consensus, okay? Some of these are not just me, and some of them I had to move around. And after posting it today, I was kind of like, maybe there is some movement up and down. And we're going to talk about that.
It's good conversation.
It is good conversation. There's only 13 slots. You can only pick 13 players. I wasn't say, well, this guy's an A, this guy's an A, this guy's an A, this guy's an A. And let's try to be realistic when we do this. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, Nick Folk. He's an A+.
100%.
He's made 56 straight field goals since week 1 of 2020 inside the 50. And this year, he went 36 for 39 for field goals. He made 5 of them from 50+. The 3 he missed were 50+. One of them being the Tampa Bay game, which was definitely a hurt. Yep. He's your most consistent player. And what's great about him is you're coming off Adam Vinatieri, then you go to Steven Gostkowski, and you kind of are in this kicker limbo where you draft this stupid racist kicker in the 5th round.
Ugh.
Whatever his name was, and they end up dropping him because he sucked. You get Quinn Nordin. He's got a boot. Guy from Michigan. He's got a boot.
Someone
but
didn't
he
do their
sucks.
due diligence.
He sucks. It's just, and then Nick Folk has just been sitting there, just a journeyman of the NFL.
Beautiful.
And he filled in, and he's already got a spot in the Pats Hall of Fame for some of the game balls and stuff that he's done. And he was such an MVP last year. He's your most consistent player this year.
Before you move on, I don't know if you heard, they brought another. They just signed a kicker off the practice squad. They said,
yeah, Quinn Nordin.
Did they?
Yeah.
So
they what they did is like a guy like Christian Wilkerson got signed today to a futures thing. So they're saving him. So Quinn Nordin's the same guy. And Quinn was kind of pushing for the job in preseason at training camp. And he was making boots. There was a lot of talks. This guy can kick it from 50. He can kick it from 50. And then all of a sudden he has like a bad day where he misses 3 or 4 in a row. Belichick wants consistency.
Yeah, he does.
And Nick Folk gives you consistency.
Yeah, he does.
You can't complain. 36 for 39, 5 made from 50+. And he's been perfect inside 50 for 2 straight seasons.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And Adam Schefter posted that and that's talking about even the postseason, this last game. Schefter posted that like right before the game, and I was like, oh, is this going to be a jinx? He's going to miss one?
Yeah.
But he made it, and he made it from 40 yards in Buffalo.
I got some more sprinkle. Ready for the harp? This guy.
J.C. Jackson. J.C. Jackson, as everyone knows, is an unrestricted free agent. Will they franchise tag him?
Yes.
J.C. deserves an A this season. Some people were kind of saying, why? Why does he deserve an A? And some people are saying he's an A- player or a B+ player. He had 8 interceptions. He had 1 pick 6. He had 56 tackles. He had a forced fumble as well, too. Let's talk about his pass coverage stats real quick. 106 targets his way. He had 52 completions. he only gave up 3 touchdowns. And he's in the Pro Bowl. So he's doing something right. He is your stud. He is your stud. You need a... I'm worried because what do? Do you franchise tag J.C. Jackson this offseason? Do you keep him? Do you try to sign him? I know this for a fact.
They are going to tag him, sir.
I know this for a fact. J.C. Jackson wants the bag.
Oh, yeah.
J.C. Jackson is not going to take some sort of pay cut.
Nope.
J.C. Jackson isn't going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to take $1 million or $2 million. He wants as much money as possible. And the way he's been playing consistently, by the way, too.
As he should.
He might win Defensive Player of the Year the way it looks like if he continues doing this, the way he's playing. Yep. So I look at J.C. Jackson. Teams will throw the bag at him. Should you franchise tag him? Absolutely. Franchise him to get him on your roster and then figure out your other cornerback situation too. If you can do that and get that duo back out there, that might make JC want to stay. That might make JC extend. Otherwise, I'm JC. Yeah, it's going to be nice to get that franchise tag and get the money.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be a little nervous next year.
Yeah, because you're going to ruin my performance that I did year previous.
Like,
and I
right now,
say,
I want to be paid.
Yeah.
I'm JC. I want to get paid now.
Yeah.
I don't want to be franchised.
Yeah.
I made it through the season unscathed.
Yeah.
Anything can happen next year.
You don't want to play with bums, and then next thing you know, your stats start to go down.
Yeah,
like, maybe you're
and
not worth
Belichick likes that to happen, by the way,
he
too.
does. Yeah,
because he wants to try to get you on a cheaper deal.
Why do you think he put Mills back there? Oh, I got another little sprinkle. Ready? Just for you. This guy.
Hunter Henry, A-, 50 receptions, 603 yards, 9 touchdowns, which is a career high for Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry was a stud this season. He was Mac Jones' security blanket. Mac Jones had 22 touchdowns, 9 of them went to Hunter Henry. Like almost half of Mac Jones' touchdowns went to him. He was the number 1 guy for him. It's great. He earned this big contract. We're going to talk about another big contract for a tight end later on. He got a contract. He got paid. He came in here. He took the risk right away. He worked with Stidham all offseason. He started getting to play catch up with that. He already got a good rapport with Mac Jones. He's your guy going forward, and hopefully he keeps the consistency. If you look at his numbers, even in with San Diego Chargers, LA Chargers, he was very consistent across the board. So as long as you know what you have there with Hunter Henry, can the other tight end catch up?
Great question.
But I like Hunter Henry A- because he was worth the money. He got his touchdowns. He won you some games.
Let me ask you a question about Mr. Henry. Do you expect more? Because I do. I expect more from him in a sense of
maybe blocking.
Yeah.
That was one of his knacks this year. He wasn't a good blocker.
No, I didn't enjoy it. And I'm assuming if we could repeat as far as how we were running the ball this year, and then he does a little more, and that opens up the game.
I'm going to repeat this again later on, but you have a whole offseason now. You saw what you got to do this year. I'm hoping that he spends more time with Mac. You spend more time working on your craft. That's what you got to do this offseason. You know what I don't want to see? And I'm going to say it again later. I don't want to see any of these guys I get it's the end of the season. You're going to go on vacation stuff. Keep it to yourself. We don't need to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Keep it to yourself. Keep your social medias on the low.
Let everyone think that you're actually just in the gym working out and getting ready.
Go enjoy yourself. You deserve it. It's a long, grueling season. Trust me.
Right.
Take the month off, whatever you got to do. It's January 17th right now. Take the rest of the month off. Go through the Super Bowl. But be ready to start and keep working. We need to see that because don't be going out posting on social media. Don't be going to do something stupid.
Agreed.
Just relax. Just get back into it.
This grade here, I'm going to still give him pixie dust because I thought I graded them a little different.
Well, this is what's the fun about this. They're all going to be different grades. So this is as a whole, right? This is like a whole.
I give him an A- as a whole.
All right. So for the sake of what we're doing too in this report card segment, could you put Damon Harris himself as an A-? Yes. But I was like, I'd like Hunter Henry above him because Hunter Henry came in. So this is, and you're going to see this. Guys got pushed around because I want to make sure I talk about certain guys. I don't want to be like Hunter Henry's A-. Oh, yeah, plus these 5 other players. No, it's one player, and this is like, hey, you only have 13 slots. You but you want to talk about somebody.
Yep.
I put B+. All right. Damon Harris had 929 rush yards, 15 touchdowns in 15 games. He did have 2 fumbles, one being a costly fumble week 1.
Yep.
That lost you the game.
Yeah.
And if you won that game, the Patriots will be playing next weekend. Just saying. Maybe. They should be playing next weekend. It should have happened that way. He also had 129 receiving yards, meaning a total of over 1,000 all-purpose yards. Stevenson chipped in 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. He also had 2 fumbles. He also had 123
Like Stevenson.
catches.
Really like him.
But you like Stevenson as a rookie. Great rookie season for Stevenson to come in there.
Yeah.
There's a great 1-2 punch there. And Brandon Bolden had 731 all-purpose yards, and he had 3 touchdowns. He chipped in as well, too.
That was a magical season for him.
Very magical season. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it again. And a great fill-in because you didn't have James White. James White got hurt early on, and that hurts. If you had James White added into this mix, this running back core, it looks great. I always give credit to Bill Belichick for having an awesome RB core. We all want that stud. You want that stud, right? Mm-hmm. You want the Najee Harris, right? Or you want the Joe Mixon, or you want the Zeke Elliott. You want that big bruiser back. No, I like to have the fresh legs every single time come in there. And shout out to the offensive line as well, too, certain people, to make that work out and make this running back core look great.
Let's deviate real quick off the report card because you mentioned something just happened. You can bring up your phone out, cryptic message, since we're talking about the backs.
You want to bring up the Brandon Bolden cryptic message?
Why not?
Because you just said he had a very magical season.
Very
magical season.
Yes, sir.
So Brandon Bolden, are you going to post it or do I have to read it?
Just read if you
All
don't
right,
mind.
so Brandon Bolden went on Instagram earlier today, right? And he posted a little something about the season. And this is what he said. I'm going to read it. This is on Instagram. It's there. First and foremost, it was an absolute pleasure to play with this team this year. What can I say? Not the full results I had in mind, but this was by far the most fun I've had playing football in a while. I want to really thank you, coaches and teammates, for the opportunity to be part of the beginning of something special. This was a really special team with extremely special people. I appreciate every man that stepped foot in that locker room. You guys really made an old guy feel kind of young. To see what I've seen and been through it all that I have had. I appreciate all of you and extremely proud not to call you all my teammates, but my fam. Loved all your boys, and I wish nothing to the best of you. So it was one of these heartfelt messages, and I get it. It's postseason. You kind of want to wrap things up there. Mm-hmm. He's turning 32 next year. He might be a candidate. I think he's a free agent. He might be a candidate that's not back on the New England Patriots next year.
Yep.
So I posted... As always, I took it and I posted it because it's a little cryptic. He's thanking everybody. He said thank you for the season. I appreciate it. Made me feel young again. Kind of felt like a bye. Like all right, I did my time. I thank you so much. See you later. And I said Brandon Bolden with the heartfelt message to the fans and teammates. Looks like his ride in New England's over. Hashtag Let's Go Brandon. So I looked at what he said and I said, I think he might be gone, like from New England. Never said he was going to retire. So, of course, got a little traction. Brandon Bolden tweets out, I made a post for my teammates and y'all think ... a bunch of laughing emojis. Nah, whole lot of left in this tank. I don't doubt that Brandon Bolden has something left in this tank, but it might not be in New England. And when we talked about moving on from vets, and we talked about having this new young core and new age come in, where does Brandon Bolden, does he fit in there?
I don't see it.
What happens? I mean, don't get me wrong. Could they look at him and have him kind of as a filler for preseason, try to make the team? Or is another team going to look at Brandon Bolden like a Miami Dolphins did in the past and bring him in? I think Bolden might get an offer somewhere else, but it might not be in New England. And I think what he posted was kind of like an open-ended goodbye.
The writing's on the wall, man.
The open-ended goodbye of just saying, hey, thank you. I'm glad I was part of the beginning of something that's going to be special. He wants to leave on a good note with the New England Patriots organization and the fans and his teammates. And, if a team like the Arizona Cardinals reach out to him and say, hey, we'll pay you to come over here, he's probably going over there. Like, that might happen. But I thought it was a little cryptic, a little too much to post.
Yeah,
it's our job to dissect all the social media posts. That's what I do. It's my job.
I think what he did to the film that he captured this year. Did you know that he was that good? Be honest.
No,
me neither.
Not that good.
Because I was confused. I was like, "Who the hell's this guy?"
Can he stay consistent and do that next year?
Sucks that he didn't catch the ball. That hurt.
Yeah, that hurt. That was another change. That was right in your. That was right there.
Right there.
It was right there. That hurts.
Yeah.
I'm not going to totally blame him though.
No.
Like it was
just a night.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's how you knew the game was going to go.
And then, what was the worst one? Was it Hunter Henry right in the end zone? Was it that one? That was one that was really bad. I was like, ugh.
I think it was Hunter Henry, and it was just like such a, like, was it a low ball or something?
Yeah, it was just there. It
was
off his hands. Yeah. It's, but nah, I wanted to go there just because, you know, you mentioned him, and I thought it was appropriate. You know, why not? So let's get back to our report cards. I remember getting report cards. Were you a good student in school?
No.
So you were afraid of like the report. You're like, oh shit. Were they mailed?
Yes and no.
Were they mailed, or did they give it to you?
I got mine given to me in elementary school, report cards, and you know, I'm not like big into science.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Math I had trouble with growing up, like 2 + 2.
Yep. Okay.
But you know, my parents weren't that strict on me in terms of like report cards. Like, every parent's going to be different. Everything does everyone different. They were a little bit more lackadaisical with me than they were with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I was that type of guy that, like, let's say in high school, now you get GPAs and all that.
Yep.
So in high school, what I was doing was I would slack off the first semester and then just in the second half, just like start buckling down to get that GPA back up or whatever. Same thing even in college. I think I just kind of slacked the first 2 years, and then the last 2 years of being in college, I worked hard and got really great grades. And I just said to myself, like, why didn't I just try harder to begin with? But I don't know. You're a kid and you're growing up.
You're living your life.
Yeah.
You're enjoying yourself.
And I'm sitting here, so
it's all right. Out. I wonder how are you going to raise, or what are you going to be looking for with the twins?
I mean, I just let them do what they got to do. They're there to support them.
Yeah.
You know, it's
build a bridge so they can come back if they go away to come back. You know.
Yeah. It's just, what can I do? I mean, at this point, I might homeschool them the way it looks like in our society. But it's a whole different conversation. We'll save that for later. That's
all right.
That's a different show.
Let's go to this. I get it. He slowed down at the end of the year.
Okay, so Mr. Red Sleeves, listen. Mr. Red Sleeves, Matt Judon, was a great pickup for the Patriots.
Amazing.
For the first, like, 3/4 of the season, and it just fell apart. So Matt Judon had 12.5 sacks, right, and 60 tackles this season. Matt Judon has not had a sack since week 13. That's bad. The point where you need him, and you want to talk about vocal leaders and veterans, he's your next guy up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Cliff, was there maybe an injury? Was there maybe because of COVID? There has to be something that made him step off. Was it something that pissed him off during the bye week, during the Colts game, or something that just ticked him off? Because once he started playing bad, the defense started looking bad.
Yeah.
He is your heart and soul of the defense.
Yeah.
He is your defense. He is the future of your defense, right? He is your heart and soul of the defense. So when he fell apart, the defense fell apart.
Yep.
I think it all comes from him. I love the fans with the red sleeves. I've seen a lot of it towards now the Colts season. I saw it at 6 string. I've seen it at the games. It's awesome.
Makes sense.
He has a support around him. He also loves talking to the media. He's nice to them.
Love it.
You get a lot out of him. I just feel like towards the end of the season, something's not there. Something wasn't right. And maybe it was a sickness. Maybe it's an injury. Again, we don't know.
Right.
That's why he fell to a B. He was if we had to go, if he consistently stayed the same, or if that season ended, A.
Yeah.
A.
Yeah.
Maybe even A+.
Yeah, he was a machine out there.
He was the one that made you just like believe in the defense.
Yeah.
So that's the positive.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen at the peak of what Matt Judon can do for you.
Yep.
We also seen the low when he's not there, how it really hurts the defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Matt Judon, I hope he has a great 2022 season. You need him back.
And that's why I want the Patriots. I know we want a number one receiver. Get him some help. Get him someone on the other side. I understand Dietrich Wise is a friend of the show. It's not enough. It's not enough. I'll leave it at that.
I hear the excuses for Judon. He gets held on every play and this. It's part of the game.
Yeah,
it's part of the game. Not every single play is going to get called. Like, it can go your way. So, he's got his first season under his belt in New England, and you signed him, Bill Belichick, for 4 years.
Great sign. I'm telling you.
Another Bell. Why? Yeah. Oh, but we got to fire Belichick. Belichick has no idea what he's doing.
Great sign.
Great signing. He's got a full offseason to kind of feel it. What's Boston? Get through this winter time. He's a guy that loves going to Celtics games. I hope he kind of shows up a little bit more to Celtics games and stuff like that, and just work hard and be ready. And I want him to be a captain. I want him to lead. I want him to be
a captain.
He needs to be the leader of the new era of Pats of the Patriots.
I like that. All right, let's go with my guy over here.
This is too low. This is my fault. He shouldn't be a B-.
Where you going?
We talked about him earlier. He's a B+. He is a B+.
Yeah.
But then again, for the sake of the conversation,
Yep.
we have all these guys are in Bs, right? I think Matt Judon's a B+. I'll say he's a B+. So don't look at it that way. It's just for the sake, because I want to talk about Kendrick Bourne. 800 yards receiving, 55 catches, 5 touchdowns. He only had 2 drops the entire season, by the way. 12 rushes for 100. Yep, only 2 drops. Looked it up tonight. Little stats by Babs right there.
All right.
12 rushes for 125 yards. He had a passing touchdown, and he only signed 3 years for $15 million. A good deal.
Steal.
He earned it. Yes, a complete steal. Yeah. He came over here, and he put the work in. I was nervous about Kendrick Bourne before the season started.
Yeah.
Because he's a little wild child.
I thought it was a flash of the pan.
He's a little wild child. So I just looked at him like, stay composed during the season. And he's exceeded expectations all around. A gadget player, someone that you can use at any point on the field. That's what I like about him. Belichick this offseason is probably going to have a fun time drawing up a ton of plays for him. But again, he is your wide receiver 1 the way I look at it this season, but he's not a wide receiver 1. Sorry. It's not a knock to him, but go out there and get a true wide receiver 1. Imagine having a true wide receiver 1 with Kendrick Bourne and Hunter Henry.
And the other tight end.
Still having, we'll get to him a little bit. And then not even that, just having Jacoby Myers. He's on the report card, but having a guy like a Jacoby Myers that's there, he's like now he's becoming a veteran of this offense.
They got to keep him. They got to keep him.
You have Wilkerson maybe.
Wilkerson could play a role.
Wilkerson can start coming in now and get into the mix. We'll get into another guy later on, another receiver that might not even make it next year. So you have something going. The offense needs to get a real wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. For this guy, right?
That guy. Okay. This is going to tussle some feathers,
Let's
right?
go.
So Mac Jones this season gets a C+. Again, the consensus rating, I've seen it. A lot of you want to give him an A, an A-. No. It's the homer picks. I get it. But I started seeing some real letter grades. I saw B, 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 B-, C, and even C-. I saw that. You got to be a little bit real when it comes to it. As a rookie, I get it. He had 3,800 yards passing, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. He took 28 sacks. He made it an entire season. He got 10 wins, right? You can say these comparisons of, well, out of all rookies in the history, he had like the 5th best rookie season. That's all fine and dandy. Stats are stats. And sometimes stats are for the birds.
Yep.
It's about the game flow. Mac Jones has 1 game-winning drive this entire season, and that was against Houston. Cliff. Cliff.
Yes, sir.
Mac Jones comes from the most elite collegiate program.
Let me see what you were doing on that.
I was talking about this earlier.
Platter.
We put this guy on a platter. You put this guy on the platter. The media put this guy on a platter. He is NFL ready. He is built for this. Well, he wasn't built for this. And let me go back to some of these games. Dallas, he had the ball in his hand in overtime. You can blame McDaniels all you want. He had the ball in his hand in overtime to win the game, didn't win. Indianapolis, you went on your 7-game win streak. Mac Jones didn't win you any of those games, by the way. The team won you those games. Indianapolis throws a pick before halftime. Come after halftime, throws another interception. That puts you down in the game. Mac Jones ruined the game flow. Buffalo, at home, 2 interceptions and 145 yards, no touchdowns. It was 10-7. Mac Jones has a turnover, puts Buffalo up 17-7. It ruins the game flow. Miami, you're down 7-0. The ball's in Mac Jones' hands and throws a pick 6. It's 14-0. Mac Jones hurt you more than he helped you. And you're going to say, well, he's a rookie. He's a rookie. Well, stop putting him on this platter and saying
boy.
He's NFL ready. That's why he deserves a C+. And listen, he had 2 games this season with 3 touchdowns against Jacksonville and Cleveland. There's some bright spots. And this is putting him at a C+ is so that we can see him grow. Because if you're going to set him at an A or an A-, then how is he going to improve next year? You put him at a C+. He's got a lot of improvement. He's a rookie. Got his ass kicked a bunch of times this year. He's going to be better. His bar is set. 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Next year, 34 touchdowns is what I want to see. I want to see him get about 4,500 pass yards. He has the ability to do that as long as they get him a true wide receiver 1. That C+ next year will turn into a B+ or an A-.
Let's see it, man. I'm excited for it. Here's your boy. Defense.
Kyle Van Noy, what's good? Kyle Van Noy, 66 tackles, 7 QB hits, 5 sacks. He had a pick 6, all right? I give Kyle Van Noy some credit. C is rated average.
I think
right
it's a
at
solid
average.
season,
It's a
man.
solid C.
Yeah.
He came in here with the expectation of, okay, he's a filler. Kyle Van Noy is your transition filler for your linebacking core. And probably keeps somebody else happy with the linebackers because his friend came back. And some of these older vets there, you have some familiarity with the system, and it worked out. He signed a 2-year, $12 million deal. If he gets cut, by the way, he only is owed $2.5 million. That's the dead cap.
He's not going anywhere.
He has a $7.5 million base, and the team saves $5 million. I think Kyle Van Noy had a lot on his plate in terms of going to Miami, then coming back home, and you got to kind of get back into the system. I always thought pre-leaving this team, he was going to be a future team captain. I didn't see that same Kyle Van Noy. Like, it was fun watching with the pick 6. There's some games where, I mean, he had 5 sacks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I didn't have this written down, but I'm pretty sure 5 sacks was the second best on the team next to Matt Judon this year.
Judon. Yep.
So, I mean, that's a solid C. And yeah, I want to keep him next year. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He looked a little slow at sometimes.
He definitely.
But
But
let's see what you can do this off season. Let's get one more. And here's again. You're going to be on your final year of your 2-year deal.
Yep.
Work. Put the work in and see what ends up happening.
Get another contract. Work for
I don't
another
mind him
contract.
staying around. But if Belichick sees the writing on the wall and says this isn't working out, then pull the cord.
For sure.
Because you didn't do it on somebody else this year.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second.
But I will say this too, for continuity, right? And I want people to understand this, right? A lot of these defenders are not placed in positions to play certain roles or play to their ability because maybe, let's say, the secondary sucks. So they couldn't send them. Can't send them boys. Like, I know a lot of people like, why weren't they sending Judon? Why weren't they doing this? Again, maybe they couldn't because of the secondary or certain spots in the defense. But I thought Van Noy played a really decent season, especially with everything that you had mentioned. So I'm all right with that. All right, next guy. Hold on. Where's the next guy? Over here. Hold on. I just had him. Okay. Hold on. This guy. Mr. Green.
The Green Goblin. So C- is a little harsh to some people. I mean, a lot of people are very split on this pick. Again, this was a consensus report, right? Some people had Jalen Mills down in the D territory. Some people had him in the B territory. And for the sake of this, he's a C player. This year, he's average. He had 47 tackles. He had 7 pass defends. He had no interceptions. There was a 56 completion percentage on Jalen Mills when they threw it to him. He gave up 7 touchdowns this year. But here's my thing. When he was in Philadelphia, he was a left cornerback. That's the position he played. They moved him to free safety the year before he signed. Last year, he played free safety. He comes in here, signs. He was the Patrick Chung replacement. All of a sudden, Gilmore's out of here.
Yep.
They have to go to Mills and say, you got to play corner. You got to play corner. You got to replace Gilmore. And there was a reason why they moved him from corner to safety in Philly. And that's why they signed him. So I say Jalen Mills ate his crow this year and did what Belichick told him to do, and he ate it. They better get a cornerback, a legitimate cornerback next year, because it shouldn't be Mills.
No.
It should not be Mills.
No.
They should have someone, again, if you franchise JC and get a legitimate guy next to him, it works. They probably went to the season thinking, all right, we're going to have Gilmore, and we're going to have JC, and then we're going to have, we're going to have Jalen right there.
Yep.
Free safety. So it just didn't, or Jalen comes in every so often. You can mix things up.
You got Kyle
right?
Duggar as well.
Yeah, you can mix things up.
Yep.
They asked him to do more than what he thought he was going to do. He got exposed. He got exposed for it, only in the sense of, and I'm saying it in to defend him, to say, I know this wasn't supposed to be your position. This wasn't supposed to be what your duty was going to be this year.
Right.
And going forward.
Prove us right.
So yeah, I mean, I know. So in the sense of, Jalen Mills, I will have an absolute bounce back season next year as long as Belichick can figure out that roster in the secondary.
Let's talk about this guy.
So I'm going to get flack for putting Trent Brown at D+.
Why? He was horrible.
Why is he horrible in your sense? Give me your take, because I only have a small take on this one.
Okay. One, how many times did Mac Jones get smashed this year?
Yeah, I said it. It was, what was it,
29 or 28?
28 times that he got sacked.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a guy that was supposed to be. No, let me take it back. I saw what you did with Tom. And again, we're on that borderline of maybe Tom helped you because we talked about it, that Tom Brady, being the veteran, makes calls and helps the line saying, hey, I need this. I need you to move here and do that by the audibles. I just felt that Trent Brown just was not moving people. There was a screenplay, I think it was in Buffalo, and I just saw him kind of just use his hand to push a guy as opposed to run through the little safety or the little cornerback. That's why I felt like he had a horrible year.
Yeah, you didn't hear his name as you thought you should have been hearing his name. My issue with Trent Brown was you signed this guy for $7.5 million just for 1 year with a 6.5 cap hit. He immediately gets hurt week 1.
Yep.
And from what I was hearing, he was overweight coming into the season a bit. He couldn't cut weight. He didn't come back till week 10. He missed most of the season. And some people can say, well, he ended up playing the rest of the way, and he pretty much played 100% of the snaps. But I don't think he was a true difference maker as what we thought he was going to be originally for the offensive line.
Nope.
And now, all of a sudden, he's hitting free agency again. And it's like, do you think he can hold up for an entire season right now? And we actually talked about this a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, right?
Yep.
And I had a negative Trent Brown rant, and I kind of said that Trent Brown's not the same guy, right? I remember that. Remember, we got to play that back. Play that back, Dito. Play it back for me, Dito, because I know that I mentioned that Trent Brown, there was some issues going on, and he's just not the same Trent Brown. He played it out. I think he just played his contract out, and that's it. And that's the last year in a sea of Trent Brown. He hustled the Raiders and hustled them completely.
He got paid.
And then he comes to New England, and he's kind of your fill-in. So now we say for the NFL draft coming up, you got to focus on the line and what you're going to do there. I don't see them bringing back Trent Brown. And like you said.
And especially if you're saying that Mac Jones is your quarterback, right? And you want to see him progress and grow, give the kid some time. Mm-hmm. He got smashed this year. That's the one thing I'll say about Mac Jones. Maybe he doesn't have the arm strength that I would like to see him have. You can develop that a little bit. Maybe his footwork is not nice. He is a rookie. We know you don't like that saying, but it's a fact. But the kid got back up every time he got smashed, and he got hit on the chin a couple of times. Mm-hmm. That's the line's fault. It's also his fault too, but he'll get better as he'll make calls again, make audibles, and say, "Hey, line, I've identified the mic." Blah 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 blah. But
I didn't talk about this in the Mac Jones rant because I needed to keep it concise for certain reasons. Mm-hmm. I'm interested in how his offseason goes. Like he's got to kill it.
Yep.
I'm really interested in terms of how is he at Foxborough? Is he working out? Is he talking to these guys? Is he trying to set things up?
Yep.
Is he still studying film? Like he's probably working hard at it. I'm just interested how his offseason goes. That's all.
Or is he doing commercials like I see the commercials popping up?
It's popping up.
I see him. I've seen him at least 2 already. Well, for this next person, I would like to say that dear Canada says no. We apologize for this product that came out.
Yeah, that's N'Keal Harry. You got the old number on him there.
Yeah.
That one now, and he doesn't deserve to be one.
He doesn't deserve it.
He is 15. He's down. He's like the 15th guy on this list.
You think we could get him a bag of chips for him now?
No, you can't get anything. And I mean, the only positives of N'Keal Harry and the reason why he's on an F is just the fact that he was a good blocker. They liked his blocking this year, but he only had 12 catches for 184 yards and no touchdowns. And only 4 games at Wilkerson. He only started 4 games, N'Keal Harry. And Wilkerson had 2 touchdowns in 1 game. Wilkerson got called up from the practice squad, had 2 touchdowns, and they benched you.
Yep.
And they put him in, and he just went out with 2 touchdowns. N'Keal Harry has nothing going for him. No. And it's going to be an interesting offseason because last year, his agent comes out saying N'Keal Harry wants out. And Belichick said, no, go screw yourself.
Right.
And last year, when I was doing a different show, I said, N'Keal Harry, like, you just got to keep him. You cannot take a 6th-round pick for N'Keal Harry. That's a waste. He's going to be on his last year. And if N'Keal Harry wants to be anywhere in the NFL, he's got to do something in his final year of his contract. I say you hold on to him for one more year. He's a depth piece at this point. You have to eat crow because everyone sees it right now. Everyone keeps posting this. Mm-hmm. The picture of N'Keal Harry getting picked, and then it was A.J. Brown and Deebo Samuel. They were both picked in the same draft.
Yep.
DK Metcalf, like all these guys. Whereas Deebo Samuel's been killing it for San Fran.
Yeah.
And now this just surfaced up again today of Deebo Samuel when he visited the New England Patriots and had his talk in 2019 before the draft with Bill Belichick, and how he was excited to meet Bill.
Uh-huh.
And he felt that he was going to be here and get drafted. And maybe Bill didn't like his demeanor. Because that, if you watch the interview, you kind of see like, oh, that's not really a typical Patriot.
Mm.
Who knows? Maybe if you get Deebo, maybe Brady's still here.
Let's not go there.
We could go there a couple times. But
I don't want to. You know what? Let me piss you off here. Pow.
So there's a reason why Dante Hightower is not an F.
He made a lot of tackles this year, man.
Yes, actually. So great point. Great point, Cliff. Because I wrote this down. He had 64 combined tackles. Mm-hmm. That was more than Matthew Judon, by the way. Mm-hmm. He made tackles. But boy, and he did it in 15 games, by the way. Mm-hmm. One less game than Judon. Judon, technically, they had him play the Jacksonville game, but he didn't play it.
He didn't play
that game.
Right.
They counted it, though, as the game started. Dante Hightower got burnt quite a bit this season.
Yeah.
He does not look the same. Slow tower. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what it looked like. And it's funny because I worked on the story for about 2 years and just piecing things together from where you hear this, that he was going to retire. You throw it out there. He ended up coming back, and it looked like he should have just stayed retired. He should have just never came back. I feel like it really came to a point where Hightower came to collect a paycheck of $12 million. That's what he was owed. And the New England Patriots, and I actually want to spin this into Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's getting softer because Bill Belichick had no problem cutting Teddy Bruschi in 2009 when Bruschi was on his final year and said, dude, this guy doesn't have it anymore.
Lawyer Malloy, see you later.
He has no problem in that first dynasty type of era to cut players away. But all of a sudden, when Dante Hightower shows up, last minute to OTAs, last minute, and does not look the same, and you're thinking, well, we could use him for a veteran kind of leadership. You know, we can use him as a piece. He hurt the Patriots more than helped them this season on defense. And he looks just like a shell of himself. Sometimes a year off helps a player. Rob Gronkowski. He also had Tom Brady throwing to him. But a year off for Hightower was not well. And I look at it this way too. It's hard to let go such a key piece of the dynasty. I get it. You live on the past. Super Bowl 51, the strip sack fumble. Super Bowl 49, stopping Marshawn Lynch before Butler gets that interception. I get it. But there's a time we got to pull the plug. And I want to revert back to that preseason. If you cut him, and I think they were hoping that he just was going to be done. Maybe me posting about him retiring said, fuck this kid. Maybe it's my problem. No problem, right? But that $10 million that you could have had in your pocket, maybe you give that to Gilmore. But is Gilmore going to stay healthy the whole season? Maybe that $10 million goes to another offensive piece. Maybe it goes to a lineman. Maybe it goes to a receiver. Maybe they could have afforded certain players around him. So it makes me look back on it and just say, they didn't need Hightower the entire season. That could have been more reps for other people. I don't know. I still give him some credit. He's not an F. Like, he made tackles. He was out there. He had a couple good plays. I got pissed because every time he had a good play, you people on Twitter and you people on Instagram would say, Dante Hightower still has it. Look at this one play that he put out there. It's like, why don't you show the other 12 plays before that? So, he had 4 QB hits, and he did have a sack and a half this season. This is it for him. Don't bring him back. You can't bring him back. This should be it for him. Hang it up. Now you can officially retire. You're a Pats Hall of Famer.
Yes, sir.
You can live off of that. Go back down to Nashville where you live. Go enjoy your time with your family. And that's one of the players now that needs to move on. Like, they should have moved on already. And that's what bothers me is this could have been a year where another player gets more opportunities and more chances to develop themselves, and Hightower took that away.
Yeah.
You didn't need it. You didn't need it. How many times was Hightower a true vocal leader in that locker room? You want to talk about guys that probably gave up on the season? He probably gave up on the season and when the Colts game happened. Is he good with the media? Sure. He can talk to the media all he wants and this and that, have a good rapport, but I don't think he was the true leader and vocal leader that they wanted him to be this season.
Yeah, I just think that obviously he's not the old Hightower, right? I always expected this kind of for him to just bounce back during the playoffs, right? It didn't happen. It's not a good look that we lost, that crucial game, with the cutback, and there's footage out there. But I will say, I think the Patriots brought him back just because they were like, is Juwan Bentley going to be served? Is he going to be able to hang out because he's always getting injured? Mm-hmm. Who's in the middle? Like, look at all the people we brought back. Jamie Collins, that disappointed me too. Yeah. Like, I expected much more from him as well. I think they were looking for a nice little reunion between him, Jamie Collins, and Van Noy. It just didn't happen. Just didn't happen. There. So you said something about a letter F.
Letter F. I feel bad. I feel bad for giving it to Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
But the reason why Jonnu, and I got some flack for it, and I get it. Jonnu Smith signed a 4-year, $50 million deal.
Yep.
More money, pretty much, than Hunter Henry in terms of, and plus an extra year. He has $31 million guaranteed. He's getting an average of $12 million a year, 12 and a half. And in 2022, his dead cap is 26.5. You can't get rid of him.
Nope.
He only had 28 catches for under 300 yards. He had 1 touchdown. He rushed it for 9 times, and he had 40 yards. I am giving him an F only because you paid this guy to be in the 2 tight end set. Hunter Henry, who was an A-, had 9 touchdowns. He had 600 yards. He was your blanket. Imagine if Jonnu Smith was used properly.
Yeah.
If he was used properly, adds on an extra 6 to 7 touchdowns. I like that
you said that. Used properly.
He was not used properly this year.
I'm going to give you applause for that.
Thank you. No, he wasn't used properly. I'm still in that tinfoil hat conspiracy theory that the team was originally for Cam Newton, and Jonnu Smith spent his offseason with Cam Newton. Hunter Henry spent his offseason with Jarrett Stidham, right? Jarrett Stidham is closer to Mac Jones than Cam Newton is. Cam Newton's completely polar opposite on how his offensive play style is.
Yep.
Hunter Henry benefited. Of course he did, right? He had 9 touchdowns. He went right in there. It looked like he stepped right in and was ready to go. He built a rapport with Mac without even having a rapport with Mac. Jonnu Smith just could not get on the right page to begin with. I feel like he was not starting his season until Cam Newton was cut and said, all right, you have to learn a whole new playbook.
A whole new playbook.
That's Cam Newton's playbook. You got to learn this one. I feel if Cam Newton was the quarterback, he would have been a little bit more successful.
Yeah.
Maybe Hunter Henry wouldn't have had 9 touchdowns. It would have been less than that. But I think he would have been a little bit more successful because especially how they wanted to use him as a runner.
That's right.
Running back.
Yep.
I just look at he's got a long offseason ahead of him to get that fan base back into it. What's his psyche like right now? Do we ever hear him talk? Do we ever hear anything from him?
I don't even know if
I don't even know what's coming off of his side. So is his psyche ruined? Is his confidence ruined?
Yeah, we'll find out, right?
We'll find out because he's 1 year away. I'm giving him a free pass for 1 year. He's going to have to take the F, though.
Yeah.
But I'm giving him the free pass, and he has an opportunity. But if you do something similar, there's no blame and play calls next year. The play calls are going to be there for you.
Yeah, figure it out.
And a good point that someone else brought up to me about Jonnu Smith. A lot of people, I steal their takes. Jonnu Smith had that game against New Orleans, and he had like 6 drops or whatever it was. He had a lot of drops that game. Belichick isn't afraid to make an example out of somebody.
Yeah.
No. We're paying you all this money. You don't drop anything. I just said Kendrick Bourne only had 2 drops the entire season.
Yeah.
He had like 6 of them in one game or 5, whatever it was in New Orleans, right? He had a really, really, really bad game, and Belichick's the type of guy, all right, well, we're not going to really draw plays for you for the rest of the season. So when it goes into free agency and someone's looking for money, like, this is Hunter Henry, and this is his consistency, and that's why he's worth that money. We paid this guy this money. We know what it is. So there's something there. There's something there. I just hope that he has a good season next year. You need him to have a good season. You need to get him in there.
He's talented.
Yes,
like when he
100%.
catches the ball,
Yeah.
he can make some shit happen.
Simple put, he wasn't used right this season.
I agree.
And I think that's not completely his fault, but when the opportunity did come his way, he didn't take advantage of it this season.
We're looking at you, Josh. All right, so I'm hearing crickets. For this crickets, they're saying this guy's missing.
Where in the world is Chase Winovich? So Chase Winovich came into the Patriots in 2019. And a Michigan man, everyone sees the Goldilocks, the blonde hair, right? You see him in preseason having some fun with Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's got the snippers, and he's just, I'm going to cut your hair off. And Chase Winovich had a pretty decent 2019. You know, I believe he had a defensive touchdown that year, and people were trying to dub him as the next best thing on the defense. 2020 rolled around. And Winovich, I think, got into a little scrap, kind of, with Bill Belichick and some disagreement. I feel that Winovich felt that he wasn't played the way he was supposed to be played. And if you guys remember, when they were in Buffalo, Winovich didn't have many snaps, and he got pissed at Bill Belichick about it. Mm-hmm. And if you piss Bill off, that's it for you. We haven't seen anything of Winovich this year. We truly have not seen Chase Winovich. It's not about injuries or anything. They're not using him. They're burying him right now.
You know what's funny? I forgot about him. I literally forgot.
I believe, truly, that Chase Winovich was trying to be that next Rob Gronkowski in terms of defense. In terms of being fun, excited, fan favorite, goofy, because that's what he is, and he was doing that on radio.
I heard him on radio a lot.
Okay, the thing is, Rob Gronkowski had Tom Brady to fall back on.
Yeah.
Chase Winovich has nobody to fall back on. And I feel like he went too far, and Bill Belichick just buried him completely. He's a candidate right now to either be cut next year or be traded somewhere.
I will say this, to add to what you said, the difference between him and Gronk was actually talented.
Yeah.
I don't think Chase is very good at all. I think he's just a one-trick pony, and he's not that good at what he did.
And the fans latched on to him too quick.
Yeah.
And they just bought into the hype right away because they see that long blonde hair and they buy right into it, right? Sexy, right?
Yep.
They buy into it. Wearing number 50. You buy into the number. You buy into the jersey. You buy into the hair. He's gone missing, completely missing. I haven't heard his name once this year. I've seen him probably once or twice at all out there.
Well, it's been nice seeing you, buddy. Crickets again. Gotta find them, but it's whatever. Hey, man, guess what? You and I were talking, and you was making some bets. Some bets. You want to go over some bets?
We'll try to. We've got a couple bets this week. As we're dwindling down now in the football season, I want to use these bet segments, Cliff, to start talking about other teams. Because we do still want to cover the end of the football season. I'm going to have to start getting crafty with my bets because you can't get too far ahead.
Nope.
If basketball games on Friday, I don't know what the lines are going to be.
That's going to be crazy.
Cincinnati at Tennessee, the Cincinnati Bengals. It's funny, Cliff. We said that we did not want to play the Cincinnati Bengals. I'd rather play the Cincinnati Bengals. Like the way that looked like after that game.
Yeah.
I'd rather play the Bengals. I think the Bengals, the final score didn't dictate the way the Bengals controlled the first half of that game. The Raiders fought tooth and nail. I've been a Raiders fan most of this show for the last few weeks and talking and hyping them up. I like the Cincinnati Bengals. I always talk about this, Cliff, that one team that makes the AFC title game every year and then they fall off completely. You know, like I said, maybe it's going to be the Buffalo Bills. You know, we've seen it with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We've seen it with the Colts. It could be the Tennessee Titans that go in there and they get into the AFC title game. I like either team going to the AFC title game, by the way, because I do hope they take down Kansas City. I do hope they take down Buffalo. I want to see Cincinnati or Tennessee represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Seriously.
I want to see Tennessee.
I want to see Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill with the kind of a good story. Mike Vrabel out of all people as a coach.
That's what I want to see.
Julio Jones maybe winning a Super Bowl finally in his career. On the flip side, Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, the next best thing. People like him. Joe Cool. They like that. People want to root for Cincinnati Bengals because it's been a crappy franchise for so long. They've been waiting for that next big thing to happen. And they have some key pieces there too. And I talked about maybe Joe Burrow being that next it factor in the AFC. You want to build that next stud, right?
Yes.
You want to see that. We have it with Josh Allen now. We have it with Pat Mahomes. You want it with Joe Burrow. I like the Cincinnati Bengals in this game, and I think that they're going to take it to Tennessee. They're feeling hot. They're on a roll. They beat Kansas City, right, a couple weeks ago. They won their division.
Yep.
Joe Burrow, I was a little like, is he hurt? Is he not hurt? They looked well against Oakland. They looked well against the Raiders.
Yep.
Tennessee Titans, you can catch them slipping. You got to catch them slipping right away, though.
Yeah.
They're coming off a bye week. They can either be well-rested and kick your ass, or you can catch them sleeping. So it's going to be a fun game to watch.
It's all about that running game. We'll see if they can get it going.
San Francisco at Green Bay. Cliff, what a final finish of the Dallas Cowboys game.
Yo.
They always make it exciting. Let's just run it right up the middle with 14 seconds to go. It is what it is, right? I mean, what kind of play call was that? It moved the ball. It got them, but they just didn't have enough time.
I will say this. I watched the thing. Keep an eye on that ref, okay? Because that delay of game, pay attention to his account or his family's account. That's all I got to say about that.
I just laughed at, just by the way, a little stat right off the brain because I saw this. The Dallas Cowboys are 4-11. 4-11 since 1995 when they last won the Super Bowl.
Jesus. Wow.
Tony Romo's 2-4. He's
Yep.
got 2 wins. Dak Prescott's now 1-3. Troy Aikman, I believe, is 1-3. And then Quincy Carter was 0-1.
Unreal.
That's what they've been. That's America's team. That's a team that lives in the past. 4-11 for the Dallas Cowboys. New England Patriots, you do not want to be like that.
No, we don't.
Because right now in the post-Tom Brady era, you're 0-1. And if you want to say, since the last time you won a Super Bowl, you're 0-2.
Yeah.
Because Brady,
Sure,
they lost to the Titans.
Yeah.
So, Cliff, I'm rooting for Jimmy G secretly.
Really?
I actually like both teams. Again, it's not that bad being out of it because I'm not going to be biased. I'm not rooting for one or the other. I would like to see Jimmy G versus Tom Brady.
Ooh.
NFC title game. The NFL might want that too.
Yeah, I think so.
Bill Belichick might want to see that. That actually helps Bill Belichick out a little bit too because he's like, that's my quarterback.
He's getting up there. Yeah.
That helps out Jimmy G, who's going to be walking.
He is going to be walking.
He's
soon.
not staying in San Fran.
Would you touch him, though?
Do the New England Patriots go after him? We'll see.
We'll talk about that
later. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
later because we'll see. I think we're actually talking about that. I do believe that, again, could be, Rodgers' last dance in Green Bay.
Right.
It's going to be an awesome game. I believe it's Saturday night. So, I'm going to say take Green Bay -5, take the points. I don't want to count out Rodgers, but San Fran's on a run. San Fran looks good. I'm happy with either team representing in the NFC title game, either or. Because guess what? We don't have it up, but they're going to play Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I know tonight that the Rams won. The Rams look good. It's going to be a rematch between Tampa Bay and the LA Rams. We didn't know it yet. Until
Fireworks.
But I believe in Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I think Tom Brady's going to win that game. He's going to go, and he's going to face off against one of these two teams. Rodgers versus Brady's or Jimmy G versus Brady. Awesome matchups for the NFC title game. Buffalo, Kansas City. Buffalo has redemption on their mind. They had redemption against the New England Patriots, and they did it. They waxed them at home. They won the AFC East back-to-back, and I feel like Buffalo, they feel, hey, we own the AFC now. We got to take down what's in front of us, and that's Kansas City. Kansas City, who's gone to 3 straight Super Bowls, by the way, 4 straight AFC title games for Kansas City, and they're not going to lay down. Kansas City's been hot and cold this year.
Yep.
Like some points, is this the same team? And Kansas City reminds you a lot about New England Patriots.
Yeah.
They're the way they've been winning their games, that you might count them out a little bit, but you can't count out Mahomes, just like you couldn't count out Brady. They look so similar. Andy Reid, man, what a coach he is. I just think that Kansas City and Buffalo is another great game. Buffalo will give it to him. For the sake of the New England Patriots, this is a tough game to pick.
Yeah.
Because there's a little history
Yeah.
between both squads.
Yep.
I'd rather see Kansas City win. I want Kansas City to win -2.5. Take them -2.5.
Anybody, we just don't want Buffalo.
At this point, I don't want Buffalo. Well, other people look at it like I'd rather have Buffalo win it all, and it's like you lost the best. No.
Fuck no.
I don't want them to have a Super Bowl.
Yeah, me neither.
Because that's the last thing you're going to hang on for your division rival, guys,
Yep.
is that they don't have a Super Bowl.
That's-
You don't want them to actually go there. So
I hear
I'll
ya.
take Kansas City. This is going to be a great game, though.
Guess what? So we had a cool time at Sixth String, and we got to meet up with some fans. The fans were pretty cool. Fans were out there. You was out there running around. You interviewing people right there.
So-
Hot takes.
So what I liked about Sixth String, was awesome setup for our pregame. We ran a little bit late in our pregame to start. Good setup. We get to learn because it was definitely an improvement from the last time that we were at the Brook. So we know what we're working with. I thought the watch party first half didn't go so well because the score wasn't in your favor. There was nothing to root for.
No one cared.
So and then I got infiltrated by somebody that walked right in. I had no idea who he was. He just came up and the ball's on him. I like that. And it was good that we were able to move around, move cameras around and see that. And then in the second half, we were able to take the microphone and go down on the floor, interview. And what you're getting is real instant reaction. I like that because you're not regurgitating what you hear on the radio. You're not sleeping on it. I want instant reaction that night of what you feel. And we had some good takes out there. And you guys can watch it back. It's on YouTube. It's one of them. You can find it.
Well, since we did that, we were figuring out, hey, let's ask questions from the fans.
N. Shuley says, question from the fans, QB battle this summer. Is there going to be, I got to sit up a little bit because we're going to talk about a quarterback battle.
We've talked about that.
There's going to be a quarterback battle. Yes. I'm telling you right now, Jarrett Stidham is in his final year of his contract. If you're getting sick and tired of me talking about Jarrett Stidham, well, this is it. It's the final year. And Stidham has been pushed down year after year after year. Remember, in 2019, he beat out Brian Hoyer in the preseason. There's a reason why he's still on the roster. And he's also a valuable backup, too, if he doesn't win the job. But he will be pushing for the job. Mac Jones needs competition to make sure that Mac Jones stays sharp out there.
Right.
Stidham knows this organization. Stidham knows the playbook. Stidham has never had his fair shot the last 2 years playing in the preseason games and in training camp because he's been hurt. And sometimes you can't control that.
Yep.
Jarrett Stidham is going to make a legitimate run at Mac Jones. And I'm going to say this, Cliff. We gave Mac Jones a C+ earlier, and we explained everything about it.
Yes, we did.
Do you feel comfortable that Mac Jones' job is secured next season?
I will say this. There's always quarterback competition. It's just that Tom Brady was just far superior. Mac Jones, as you said, step your game up, buddy. You know what you got to get. You know what you got to do.
I am positive that Robert Kraft is saying this is my team.
Yep.
This is Mac Jones's team. But hey, it's got to be competition. May the best player win.
That's it.
And I'm going to say this.
Yep.
If Jarrett Stidham makes a push for it, don't be shocked if they look his way.
I won't be
because
shocked.
Belichick wants to win games.
That's it.
And Belichick was not afraid to bench the $100 million quarterback Drew Bledsoe for Tom Brady. I'm just saying. He's not afraid to make that type of move. He can do that. Mac Jones, great rookie season, but has he proved anything in Bill Belichick's mind? We will never know that, by the way.
Has he proven that he can win a game without the help of the defense? I don't think he did.
One game-winning drive, and it was only against Houston. That's it. That's all he's done.
Let's move on.
Love you, Jarrett. All right, Jose Lopez says, will the Patriots make a trade for Michael Thomas? A little MT talk today. Shout out to Title Talk. You said, LB, you posted about it. Is he back on the menu, Michael Thomas? We've said this multiple times. Mac Jones needs a wide receiver 1.
Yes.
He does. It needs to be somewhere. If Mac Jones is your guy and he wins the competition, or you want to start building a team around it this offseason, you got to get a wide receiver 1. They got to do it in the now.
Yeah.
I believe that. Some don't want Michael Thomas. Some say he's a head case. But he wants out of New Orleans. There's no better relationship out there than Sean Payton and Bill Belichick. I'm sure they can make something work out. It's got to be a trade. And you bring Michael Thomas in here. I think Michael Thomas gives a humongous boost to the offense. I would gladly accept him with open arms, and as well, too, because he's still young.
Yeah.
He's still young and can be able to gel right away with Mac Jones.
I think regardless of the quarterback, let's say there is a competition and you have Stidham, we still need a number one receiver.
You still need a number one guy. And I'll say this, it might not be Michael Thomas. I would keep my eyes on Justin Jefferson because Minnesota might be, they lost Zimmer. They're probably Kirk Cousins on his way out.
Yep.
And Justin Jefferson has talent.
Yep.
I see a guy like Justin Jefferson eventually making his way to the Patriots.
All right.
I needed to put that on there at the end because I know I'm going to look back on that and tweet it about like 2 years from now. All right. What player position should we select with 21st overall pick? I'm going to say this when it comes to the NFL draft. We know it's set. We know where you're picking, 21st overall. I'm not talking about the draft until we see what happens in free agency.
Fair.
You can't start getting ahead and say, we need a wide receiver. We need this offensive tackle.
Right.
It's good to start doing your due diligence.
Right.
Start seeing the names, and I'll start seeing, the rankings and where it goes. And remember, on draft day, everything just changes. It goes all over the place.
Yeah.
And we know Bill. Bill might get the 21st pick and say, we'll just trade out of the first round.
Yep.
Maybe they trade up because they see something. We don't know just yet. I would like them to go offensive line, offensive tackle.
Yeah.
I think that's what Bill wanted to do last year at the 15th pick, and I think he can get a great offensive tackle and bring them in here. You need to protect Mac Jones. You can get your wide receiver through a trade. You can get your wide receiver through free agency.
Yep.
You don't need to get a wide receiver in the draft. Belichick already failed once. I don't think he's going to take that risk and gamble it again.
Yeah.
You don't need a tight end. You don't need an offensive weapon. Maybe a linebacker at this spot too. Maybe you get the next guy. Maybe you find your Dante Hightower right here. Right? Your future.
I told you I would love for them to go after a defender. I'm okay with that. Help Judon in the other side.
Whether you're going to help that Judon on that side or help Mac Jones offensive line.
Yep.
That's the way you got to look at it. If they're not going to get Trent Brown and not re-sign him, or they're going to move on from him, they need a replacement.
Yep.
They do need a replacement on that line.
Yep.
So just look at it that way.
Yeah.
And just talk to me in March about it, right?
All right. I know. Let's wait.
Like it's more so like I want to see how free agency goes. Then you see how the team starts shaping up. Then you really know what your need is.
And let's see where this guy might go.
Deshaun Watson. Should the Patriots look into him? Didn't say trade. Look in. Always do your due diligence.
Hell yeah.
See how much he's worth. Hey, they looked into Matthew Stafford, and they offered like a second rounder, and that's all they offered. Belichick's going to look into it. I think it's April. That's when the charges are officially dropped or they go forward or whatever it is. That's when he becomes that type of free agent. Look into Deshaun Watson, just see his value. He's not coming to New England, but we said this. If you had the opportunity to get Deshaun Watson and he wanted to play New England, you take him. You got to take him.
Why not?
You just take him.
Why not?
Take him. Mac Jones, you still have him locked in. And Tom Curran said this today. I watched this. He was on the Dan Patrick Show. Tom Curran, who's a Patriots insider, and sometimes he likes to stir the pot a little bit, but he does know what he's talking about.
Yes, he does.
He said that Mac Jones, will he be the starter? He goes, Mac Jones is going to be on the New England Patriots for the next 4 years. Simple put. The way he said it made me think,
He might sit.
is he going to sit? Are they gonna? Is there going to be a quarterback competition open? Maybe not just Jarrett Stidham. Are they going to bring somebody in? Are they going to take a look at Jimmy Garoppolo and bring him in for about 2 years and say, I want Jimmy for 2 years. Bring him in here. Bring him in for 3. Mac's sitting. Hey, Mac got his experience, and then he sits. I don't know. I mean, this is a wide open. Like, I would not be shocked.
Something
and
to look
anything
at.
happens. I'd give Mac Jones, in being real, like I give him a 75% chance that he starts next year.
Yeah.
It's not 100%. Because he wasn't 100% going to start this year.
Right.
It was going to be Cam Newton.
Yep.
The only way it happened was Cam was unvaccinated.
Yep.
And
That was
they
the
just
kick.
stuck Mac Jones out there and said, all right, like, just go. You're the guy. So
That's it.
And that's how it went. Like, it didn't seem like it was lying. Every time that they, like, I also feel, too, Belichick's got such an ego that he wants to prove the world wrong, right?
Yeah.
You can't win with Cam Newton. Oh, yeah? I'm going to re-sign him.
I'm gonna re-sign him
I'm going to
and prove
re-sign him.
you're wrong.
And probably his players around him. I'm going to prove you guys wrong.
Right.
And then Cam just stepped in duty. Like, and Cam believed in what he believed in at the time and didn't get vaccinated. And he's probably like, all right, I'll have to start. I'm starting Mac now. I'm kind of forced to do it.
Right.
And now everyone's putting Mac on this platter, and he's seeing Jimmy G be successful. Brady's still successful.
Right.
He might just say, like, I just want to do it my way.
Yeah. Let me try.
I don't know. It's such a, Belichick wins no matter what. Because if, like, Mac doesn't play well and he's not good, he's just going to say, Mac Jones was drafted at 15 and he was the best quarterback at the time. And if he plays well, he's going to say, yep, we drafted him.
Like you said, it's that built-in excuse.
It's so stupid.
I got this little video here. Tell me what you think.
We got controversy. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
You're cute.
I'm cute? Why do you think I'm cute?
I don't know. You think you're cute.
Why am I cute?
I know. I think you're
Why
cute.
are they giggling in the background right now?
They're laughing at me because I think you're cute.
I'm only cute because you probably, how many beers have you had tonight or how many drinks you had?
I've had 2 vodkas.
2 vodkas? What kind of vodkas?
Tito's.
Tito's vodkas? You know, my fiance is watching this right now.
I'm sorry.
No, but you know what? That makes me feel confident about myself, and I appreciate that. Can I at least get a kiss on the cheek? That's not cheating. 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 I have beautiful twins. I have twin daughters, by the way, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cliff, what do you think of that?
Those are beers or liquor or something.
Michelle was not too happy about that. Michelle was not too happy about that. Okay, listen. All right. First of all, controversy. The kiss heard around the world. First of all, the beers are flowing, and we're live, Cliff. We're live.
Yeah.
And it's Babs on the mic,
moving.
and anything's going around. We're moving around.
Yep.
And I think you set me up because you're saying we got to go over here.
I was moving you around.
I don't
said,
know
let's
how
go.
I get. You said let's go, but you pointed me in that direction, Cliff.
I did.
All right, you pointed me in that direction.
She said she had a question.
And she had a question. She said I was cute. Not many people say I'm cute. Not many people say I'm cute. So, the confidence goes up a little bit. But you can tell she was she wasn't all there, and I didn't believe her. And then her friends were laughing in the background, and I saw that. So your friends are laughing. And I said, why am I cute? That was a serious question. I just wanted to know. And
then you proceeded to say,
I have a fiance.
yeah.
I thought that was the right thing to do.
That was
the right thing to do.
That was the right thing to do.
Should I stop there? Yeah.
Yes. You
But
should've
we're
stopped
live,
there.
and it's just like you're gonna have these awkward moments.
The energy was going.
Kissing on the cheek is fine. Listen, the Italians do it. It's like a gesture sign.
Yes.
That's all it is. I slept on the couch that night.
My wife would
and
have
I
just
slept
gone
on the
through.
couch every single night since then.
You met my wife. She would have gone through the phone. the app.
I talked to somebody, and I asked the girl to get another girl's perspective off of it, and she said, "You are so extra. That was so
Extra.
unnecessary.
Yeah, extra's about right.
And you're an
Yeah.
asshole for doing
Yeah,
that."
that's about right.
But here's the thing: when I told her that I had a fiance, and if you
should've stopped.
look back at no,
Do you want to play that video again? Is that what you're asking me to do?
all right, play back when I said I have a fiance, and then watch her face, because I think she had a face of disappointment. Like she got hurt. Like, it might not be the first. I've been rejected plenty of times. Trust me. I don't think it's the first time that she's.
I'm good.
Oh,
Yourself.
you got that?
You're cute.
I got that
I'm
bar.
cute.
Hold on.
All
I'm
right.
bugging over here. Hold
Why do
on,
you
here
think
we go.
I'm cute?
There you go. There you go.
I
There you
think
go.
you're cute.
Why am I
She
cute?
said I'm cute.
I think you're
Why are they giggling in the background right now?
Watch her face.
Because I think you're
Watch her
cute.
face.
I'm only cute because you probably. How many beers have you had tonight, or how many drinks you had?
I've had 2 vodkas.
2 vodkas? What kind of vodkas?
Tito's.
Tito's vodkas? My fiance is watching this right now.
Tito's.
No, but you know what?
Did she
That
look?
makes
You
me
see
feel
that? She
confident
kind of looked
about
down for a
myself, and I
second. Her
appreciate
face
that.
wasn't there. Her heart was broken.
No,
I broke her
but
heart.
You know what? That
She
makes
just
me
was
feel
just like.
confident about myself, and I appreciate that. Can I at least
You
get
gotta
a kiss on
understand
the
the
cheek?
chemistry that was there, right? Listen, when you're live, it's about entertainment. That's all it is. It's a kiss on cheek, and it's not cheating.
And we move on.
It's a good sign of a gesture. But maybe that was a kiss of death. I also think the most hilarious thing out of that whole entire little segment there.
Yep.
I feel bad because Michelle, is watching this back at some point, and she's gonna
Oh,
fucking
Jesus Christ.
cut my balls off.
He sent it to me.
The funny thing about this is in the background,
Yep.
the game was going on,
Yep.
and Josh Allen and company scored a touchdown
Of course
while that
he
was
did.
going on.
Of course.
Like if you watch the screen in the background, the Bills drove down and scored a
Hold on.
touchdown. So I thought that was funny. It just shows that we weren't. They literally
Is that-
just
is
look in
that
the
right
background.
there?
They literally are in the end zone. Go bring them. I haven't still done that. Look at my face. I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing?
Right here.
What
Right
am
here.
What am I doing? Yeah, they scored a touchdown right up there.
And who's that leaping? Like,
Oh man.
oh man. Well,
No, it was fun. It was cool. We went up to a different area too, and there was someone's birthday.
yep, that was cool.
Dude,
That
her
was cool.
boobs were just hanging out.
That was
It was
insane.
dirty 30. So
Yeah.
she's like, it's on record. I was like,
It's
it
on
goes
there.
all downhill from here.
Yes, it was.
It's
yes,
all
it's
downhill
recorded.
from here.
If you guys watch the watch party,
I'm
it's all
just
there.
tearing people apart.
It was
I
there.
had a fiance girl, heart's broken. Oh, big boobs that you're out here. Guess what? You're 30. It's all downhill.
Yeah,
it's all gonna
that-
start sagging.
She just looked at you like, what? Oh,
Hey,
man.
you just gotta be ready for
What
it.
did that,
I
what did
listen.
that guy with the outfit? What was he saying?
Uh,
With the Patriots helmet?
oh
and,
my God. Oh, what did he say? He said, I'm dumb I think he said he did the R word. I don't like saying the R word. He was saying the R word. He was calling himself mentally challenged.
Okay.
Like he was being serious about it.
Oh.
But he wasn't serious.
There was like a moment of silence between you two.
It was weird. It was super, super awkward. He's probably one of those people that goes on Reddit that talks shit about me.
Yeah.
But he'll dress up like that with the helmet on and the tassels and everything.
Feeling confident, yeah.
And then just be like, and he just kind of sandbagged me in the interview. And that's fine. It happens. You move on. Move on.
We did move on.
Michelle, I love you so much. I love Fiona. I love Sophia. I love Michelle. The ring will be on here soon. I need the ring because if I have the ring on my finger, that wouldn't have happened. She would have saw that I was a married man.
I got to give you a little secret. Michelle, I want you to hear this too. It actually makes it worse.
Oh, no.
They're like, ooh, you're married.
Oh, why are you saying that?
Can I keep it real with you? I thought I thought we were being real here.
You are being real.
But I just want you to know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you know what? They want to be home wreckers.
Yes.
It makes them get off. They want to be home wreckers.
But listen, you handled yourself quite gentlemanly, if that's a word.
I was being playful.
And then you had the mic.
I think it'd be more awkward to just
moving.
It'd be more awkward just be like, I have a fiance, bye.
Yeah, because then you would have been like, oh, you're an asshole.
What? Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was playful.
Asshole. Yeah,
playful. Yeah. She could have slapped me in the face for all I know. It is what it is. It's playful. Listen.
Hey, but it was a good time.
Thanks for getting me in trouble, Cliff. It's all your fault.
We can all play back the video, ladies and gentlemen.
You were in
we
the
can
back
see.
And you were.
I was being the director guy. I was just like, hey.
It's true. It was at some point I was interviewing somebody, and then I cut it short.
Hey.
I got to go where my director tells me to go.
It was funny because they were like, where are we seeing this? I was like, oh, go on YouTube now. That's the one thing. Next time we do that, I literally will have like people holding like signs.
You need to get like a hoodie or a shirt.
I tried, and that guy was
no, without that. And it's just a QR code. And literally you just scan the shirt.
Oh
you scan the shirt. Did I just come up with an idea?
No. That was the freaking photo booth. So
I know, yeah.
The photo booth had the QR code on it.
Yeah. Well, maybe if we get some sponsors for the show and start making some money, we can have extra people helping you out. Because the star of the show was too busy drinking and just going to the bathroom.
How about we say this? 222. We're coming to you next. Celtics are making it interesting. So
I want to run down like the Super Bowl on Super Bowl Sunday, by the way.
I got a call for a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl Sunday, I'm just saying. The Celtics play at 2 o'clock. And then Super Bowl Sunday, it's going to be the Super Bowl. Just saying. Celtics are at 2 o'clock. I like that. We were at an event. It's January. I like to try to get one once a month. I think we can start doing this.
Once a month is cool.
Once a month is not that bad. I think we can do it. It's just a good experience. It's just good. We're out there. I can't wait to be there next year. I think Six String was a good trial run for next year, and I hope that we're there for the.
I spoke to Greg
for away games. And
spoke to Greg
afterwards.
He said good. I obviously reached out. I said, hey, I want to thank you.
I was nervous. I was nervous.
He said, I hear it all great things.
I was nervous for Rosa.
Congrats.
Rosa was our waitress. She said everything. You know what happened? So real talk.
Yeah.
She's going to listen back on this. She came up to me and goes, hey, I put everyone's food and beverages on the same bill. Like, I just put it all at once.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, oh, shoot. Why don't you just split it up evenly and see what happens?
Yeah.
So while we were doing the end of it, I just look in the corner of my eye, and it's like your wife and then Jonathan's wife, and they're talking, and everyone's like looking like, I didn't get 15 Hennessy shots. I didn't get this. I didn't get and it got figured out, and it worked out.
It all worked out.
Because I went home and I was like, other than me sleeping on the couch, I was like, did Rosa get taken care of? Because I don't know. She says, yeah, you did. You never signed for your bill, you idiot.
I took care of Rosa, too. I took care of Rosa.
No, she did. Rosa did a fantastic
awesome
job.
Yeah.
And Six String did a good job, and we stayed in our limits. We did go out on the floor a little bit. We didn't bother anybody.
No, they're real good. They were real good. And I actually intentionally.
Rob didn't let you go on the stage for the better view of when I was with the DJ. He said no,
but that's okay.
Rob.
No, but security was super awesome, super professional. I purposely got us to go through the crowd to catch that footage.
Yeah.
So they can better understand
what we do.
What
and
we
it's
can
live.
Do.
And the thing too is Michelle's like, I think the lighting could be better. It's dark in there. It's nighttime. It's a night game.
I didn't want to. We could definitely do. We don't want to flash light on the people
no,
too.
You don't.
You know?
You don't want to bother people. And then I just looked at it too. Like it's loud in there.
Yeah.
I was like, I would like to have a freaking earpiece in so I can know what's going on.
What's going on? Yeah.
And be able to hear you. I remember we're doing the watch party and I'm shouting like, "Can you hear me? Hello! Like, is this thing on?" Like, I'm waiting for you to give me the signal. But it was a good experience in a busy setting. And I think it was a success to learn from it. We have a lot of work to do, and it's our second one, and not many people can do this, dude.
Yep.
Like, I think it's a success and a good pat on the back. I thought the pregame show, if we had a monitor, I think that would have worked so much better. So
shout outs to the iPad at the end, though.
I know. The iPad helping us out. Looking at it. It was cool. It was a good time.
No place like home. No place like home. And on that note, that was my final word.
Oh, we're already in final thoughts. Final thoughts real quick. Number one, Celtics, they're winning games. Bruins are winning games.
Yeah.
And starting next week, there's going to be a lot more other Boston sports talks. Finally.
Yeah.
I know there's other people I know it's mainly Patriots. I know it's mainly football. Football runs the world. And there's going to be tons of football talk still as stories pop in. But we got to start covering Celtics a little bit more.
Yeah.
We're going to start covering the Bruins a little bit more. We'll start talking about them. There's going to be more things to talk
Get
about.
some people to know that come talk about those things.
We need people to come and start talking. We're going to start setting things up. It's kind of like getting towards our offseason. All we've been doing is Patriots.
Yes.
Patriots every single week.
But now it's
So now
go
it's
time with
going to
the other
be
sports.
interesting
Yeah.
to see us evolve during this offseason as well, too, and the things that we can come up with. Number two, Tom Brady is the real deal. That team actually... Tom Brady.
I
He
support
owned.
Tom Brady, okay?
Yeah.
And you know what?
They
Funny
smashed the
enough,
Eagles.
salute to your fiance, because this is the same type. Remember how you gave me the breakdown of the
Oh,
metallic?
yeah.
Yeah. She got you the good stuff.
Yeah, she got me the good stuff.
Got the
yeah.
good stuff. Sorry,
I'll never,
but go ahead.
Well, I wore the Mac Jones jersey, and then they lost, and I was like, I'm never wearing this jersey again.
Oh.
Because they lost. Sometimes you associate. So it's like when
He's kidding, Michelle. Are you trying to go back to sleep on the couch again?
Maybe.
Jesus.
I'll wear it next season at some point.
Yeah.
I didn't wear it all year, and I end up wearing it for that one time, and then they got embarrassed. That's it. I'll wear it in the offseason. I'll wear it like
It looked good on you. So
maybe I'll wear a Stidham one, like, when it comes to the quarterback one. I don't know.
there you go. Might happen.
It
But
might.
continue.
All right.
2.
Oh, yeah, Tom Brady, they absolutely own the Eagles. It was 31-0. The final score was 31-15.
Yeah.
I said this, Tom Brady's either going to lose in that wild card game or he's going all the way to the Super Bowl. And at this point, they have the LA Rams coming to town. They're a good team. I know the defense for Tampa Bay is a little banged up. It's going to be interesting. It's kind of like a Super Bowl rematch in Brady's mind because of McVay.
Yep.
It's a big game. Also, what might dictate this game, too, is the Niners-Packers game. Because that game's Saturday night. And if the Niners beat the Packers, Tampa Bay would end up hosting the NFC title game. So that goes a little bit more into Brady.
Yep.
And I want to say this about Tom Brady, and then we'll end it. Do you think that Tom Brady saw the score of the Patriots and Bills game
Hell yeah.
and saw how the Patriots got obliterated, Cliff?
I don't even need the rest of the answer.
And do you feel, I'm going to ask you because I want you to answer, and do you feel that he saw that and it was added motivation for him to go out there on Sunday the next day and absolutely demolish the Eagles?
Yes. And yes. Tom Brady wants to throw the trophy this time from 2 boats. Okay? That's what he wants to do. And then he just wants to make another documentary say, the old man still got it, with that smile and him going like this.
It's just...
It's a fucking
crazy.
movie. It's a movie.
It's crazy
We're
how
in a movie
motivated.
right now.
It's like people keep asking, where does Brady get his motivation from? Where does he do it? Is it because he's old and the Cliff thing happened, right? The flake gates and Cliffs and he doesn't have it. He's too old and he's joking about it. And now his new motivation is to prove his former organization wrong.
Yep.
He did it in year 1 right away, and they went 7-9. And no better way when your organization they finally it's a wild card game. Okay, they're getting better, and they get demolished by the Bills, the team that Tom Brady has owned his entire career, and he's probably laughing. And it's just going to be fitting if somehow, some way, the Buffalo Bills get to the Super Bowl and Tom Brady gets there and he demolishes the Bills and he's like, I'm doing something you guys can't do. Ha 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 ha. It keeps them into it, man.
Yeah, and you know what? This is what sports is about, right? Some people watch soap operas, some people watch reality TV.
Yeah.
We watch sports.
When you guys get the shirts ready, I already got it in my mind. When Tom Brady wins his 8th Super Bowl, you can get Tom TOM instead of a B, you put an 8. Brady with 8 in it. Oh, look at that. Just came up with that on my own right there. Tom Brady. TB12. It could be like T812. Like it looks like the B.
See, Mac
like,
Jones, you should be calling us. We could hook you
got
up.
marketing ideas already for the Super Bowl.
Fire your team. They're horrible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, man. You know what? This was awesome. I had a great time. I have no other final thoughts, but shit.
No, it was good. It was good to kind of wrap up the season, get some of our takes in there. I still can't believe you wore a bag on your head.
I'm sorry.
I'm looking down still at the ripped bag down there.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But,
I had to do it.
It was a good season. I'm interested now to see who steps away, who retires, what the team has in store for them going forward, the interviews that are come up. There's still going to be stories every week, It's a long week in between when we do these shows.
Yes,
so
sir.
it'll be interesting to see that. And we're going to start focusing and shifting our way to other sports and begin the Marcus Smart slander again.
Yeah,
And,
I knew you were going to say that.
And hype up Jaylen Brown and Tatum every so often. And, I'm excited. We'll get some Celtics talk back in there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a Boston Power Hour, and we are out of here.
Back wide open, touchdown! Tatum and Antetokounmpo, the superstar, step back